back of his pants, and it was hilarious. All right, so let's get this party started. We are going to have an icebreaker from Lene. Where's she? Is she here yet? Oh, Linnea's not here.
Linnea is not going to be here.
To who do we want to introduce? Megan?
She's not going to be here at all.
We have a special treat today. Megan Bryant's in the house. We're gonna She is amazingly funny, you guys. I've actually seen her in action. She's hilarious. She is the founder of Zip Zap Bop. She also brought the Laugh Fest to Idaho, which is amazing. She's going to teach us about confidence, trust, communication, building personal relationships, because we need to know that in our industry. So I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Megan Bryant. So glad to have you.
All right, I'm excited to be here. I don't know if you guys got fair warning of what's going to happen, but you're actually going to participate in one of my workshops, which is improvisation in the workplace. How many of you know what improv is? Okay, keep your hands up if your experience includes watching it as a performance. Okay, cool. Okay, so most of you. Have any of you seen it in any other capacity? All right, here's what's going to, besides me, I don't know if I can handle it with this hat on. Like, it's not fitting my dog. It like just doesn't feel like it. Anyway, nothing against the hat. I'm keeping it.
The hair looks good.
But I just got my hair done with this red. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so I have you all, like, the chairs are cleared away on purpose because we're going to be moving around here in a few minutes. But I want to give you a little bit of an introduction of why I do what I do. The company that I run is Zip Zap Zop, and actually I run it with that same brother that had the toilet paper out his pants, which I'm probably 95% sure he did just to be funny. But okay, perfect, good. He's good like that. So he actually invited me to go to an improv rehearsal like 10 years ago, and I didn't even know really what he meant. So I don't, what is improv? So just show up, we need a couple more girls to come play to balance out our troupe. And so I went to this house, so some random house in a cul-de-sac on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And I walked in and there was a room full of a dozen adults from all different backgrounds, male and female. Some had kids, some had all different types of jobs. And they had checked everything at the door and they were just playing. There was all these different activities that they were doing, different gimmick games, exercises that were really mentally stimulating. And it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. The energy level was there. I started to realize immediately that it was about being a safe place to try new things. It was really uplifting. We were being encouraged to try new things, to be bold, to not get in the way of our own minds too much. Like sometimes we want to think things through before we contribute, and that can actually be a little bit restricted in our creative growth. So I kept going. I knew I needed to keep that in my life forever. And so I kept going to these practices, and then eventually this company that I was working with at the time called Comedy Sports opened up, and I got to perform with them doing improv every weekend. And I started to notice a change in my personal life, though. I realized that the attitude that I was kind of having intertwined from my improv experience was affecting the way that I was communicating with everyone else in my life, with my own family, with the way that I was talking to my customers. I was a bank employee at the time. I worked in retail banking for 10 years, which is super fun. But I noticed the way that I was interacting with people was changing, and it was a level of self-awareness that I had never really understood before, and watching for the social cues and the emotional cues that everyone's always giving off around us, and acknowledging those things and validating. I started to see that that was helping the way that I could run my own teams in the branches, and people were always just drawn to me for like wherever. They just wanted to talk to me longer at the teller line, or people want to chat anywhere I go. They want to chat because it's about them. And so improv, I realized, needed to be transformed into something that I could share with people more regularly in the workplace specifically, because I saw the way that it impacted my own team. And I always had top performing branches, even though I hated banking and I could have cared less about writing loans and selling another stupid checking account. I mean, we all need banking, but it's like not my thing. But my teams were always top performing because we had fun at work together. We respected each other. We validated each other when we had different concerns or different ideas. Nothing was just discounted because it wasn't the right fit right at that moment. Like, we really were collaborative. And my team didn't even necessarily know that was happening. That was just kind of the way I structured my staff meetings and just the vibe of the branch. But my brother and I started to collaborate a few years ago, and I started testing out these workshops of taking the same principles of improv that we use in performance and putting them into just communication styles. So a lot of it is nonverbal communication, really being an active listener and being present in the moment, not missing those opportunities to learn from the people that you're with, and then to be ready to contribute with your own thoughts. And so we started dialing in all these different activities. We're actually going to do some of these for the next little while, so that you can get a little bit of a taste of what that means. A lot of times people are scared when I try to talk to companies about, what do you do for team building? Let's do something a little bit unusual. Let's expand people's comfort zones. I don't like to say that we're going to be out of our comfort zones, because it's a little too cliche for me. Like, people are like, I've never done that before. It's out of my comfort zone. Well, really, all the different things that we're going to do today, there's stuff that you're capable of. Nothing is really super hard. It might activate your brain and your nerves a little bit more than usual, but you'll see that you have a capacity to do things that you may not have otherwise thought you were comfortable with, and the connections that we can have with people become greater, or have a greater impact when you let yourself have that connection and you let yourself feel a little bit more comfortable with it. But when I talk to companies about it, they're like, oh, they think they're going to have to just have their teammates up here performing scenes and being goofy, and a lot of times people are just like, we're just going to do something fun, which it is fun, don't get me wrong, and there will always be laughter and things that come along with it, because when people get comfortable together, they start feeling like it's a safe place to try different things and be creative and know they're not going to be judged. Then people do laugh a lot together. There's just an elevation in the comfort level. But my job is not to try to make people like laugh. I mean, sometimes it is when they do, performances, but in the workplace, it is to open up their eyes to their own aha moment. So I don't ever walk in and say, today we're going to have takeaway A, B, and C, and you're going to learn how to apply that, because all of us learn differently. All of us have different ways to communicate with each other, different comfort levels, different skill sets and strengths. And so this is something that helps demonstrate where you are stronger and see where other people are stronger, so that you can understand better how to collaborate. So without giving away too much a description of what we're going to do, we're going to just jump into it. There are 3 rules, though, that we must adhere to while we play these activities. Number 1 is that we're going to suspend judgment. That is judging yourself, and that is judging everyone else in this room. You will likely say or do something that's a little bit kooky or goofy or whatever, and that's what we want to do. Like, that's a good thing. If you're just letting it all go, that means it's working. So just don't judge. We're just checking that at the door. Number 2 is that we need to participate fully. So there's quite a big number, so we're going to actually split into some groups, but you're all going to be able to actively participate with what we're doing. And you need to be present in the moment. Like, some of it may not seem like it really makes a ton of sense, like right when we're doing it, but we're going to unpack as we go. And if you're not speaking at the time, listen to whoever is speaking, and vice versa. So as it's moving around and the focus is on different people, make sure that you're being respectful of them and that you're staying present. I know we all have like 1,000 things going on in our lives, especially in the holiday season, but you guys already made the choice to be here, so really be here, so you can get the most out of it. And the 3rd is actually using the foundation of improv, which is the principle of yes and that is a verbal way to say yes. This is what we have to deal with, and is if you are adding your own information. And yes and is something that is a core principle within improv, where if you see in a scene, someone walks in and they say, oh, in my hand I have this delicious round pile of gooey, caramel covered, decaying flesh. Ew. Like, I don't know. Sometimes weird things come out of my mouth. But now all of you in your mind went on that tiny little awkward path to know that now I have this sloppy, gooey, gross thing in my hand. But if someone were to be like, no, you just have a red bouncy ball. Well, that just defeats the purpose. So saying yes really is we have to just accept what it is and add to it, and then make it something that we want to ultimately have an end result that will be collaborative and something that could be cooler than what we were originally given. So it's going to be, I don't know how much. I'm trying to think how to split you up. We're going to split up into two. Actually, I need like half of you to step in the middle in the circle, just for this first part. The rest of you still need to be engaged and watching. Just make a circle so you can see each other, and then we'll have to probably scoot it back a little bit because we don't want to barge into this area with the desk.
Nobody right now, but it will be Jenny.
I'm going off the mic here for a minute, so let's give like 2 more people. Jump in. And let's back it up a little bit more that way. Make a nice circle so everyone can see. Okay, so the company is called Zip Zap Zop. This is more like an egg shape. Here we go.
It's gotta be exact.
The first skill is to test our shape. So the company is called Zip Zap Zop, and that's actually a namesake for one of the activities that we do. And it's a game called Zip Zap Zop. And it's a very basic way to connect. Has anyone ever heard of Zip Zap Zop in the room? Oh, wow. Okay, I see one. Okay. Okay, so we're going to pass around those words, zip, zap, zop, in that order, over and over and over until someone drops it or accidentally doubles it up and says zip, zip, because it'll happen because we're like a little bit nervous about it. But we're going to just pass those around so that we can awaken our senses and be ready to connect, okay? Does anyone have any questions that are in the inner circle?
Anyone in a circle or just random?
You can just go to anybody in the circle that you want. So if I were to pass you zip, you would look to someone else and make eye contact and pass with your hand. Zap.
Zap.
And then you would pass.
Zip.
Whoa! That's perfect. That came a little quicker than usual. But when there's a little whoops. No, it's okay, because that's what's fun. Look, we're already laughing again. Anytime we drop a zip, zap, or zop, then we reset by everyone in the circle taking one step in together and saying awooga. So reset with me. Awooga. All right, so I'm gonna have, and I wish I was gonna have time to learn everyone's name, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have you start the pattern again. So starting with zip, making eye contact and getting your hand out of your pocket, and point.
Zip.
Perfect.
Zap.
Zip.
Zap.
Zop.
Zip, zap, zop,
Zip.
zap,
Zop.
zip,
Zap.
zop, zip,
Zap. Zop. Zip. Oh, zap.
zop, zip, zap, zop, zip,
Zap.
zap, zip,
Zap.
zop, zip, zap, zop, zip,
Zap. Zop.
zip, zap, zop, zip,
Zap.
zop, zip.
Great. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna hold it right here for a minute. Good job. Round of applause for yourselves. No, everyone trade this inner circle trade with people that are not in the circle, and we're gonna switch groups here for a minute. Come on in.
You're getting voted. I'll take it.
No dropping babies, so you stay off the. Okay, space it out here. Everyone in that was not in. All right. Okay, so you saw how it worked. So let's get it going again, and we want to do this just as fast as possible. So everyone look alive. Let's bump out our circle just a tiny bit. Can everyone see everyone in the circle? We're a little tight. This will work all right. Okay, ready?
I'm filming.
Okay, here we go. Zip,
Zap,
zop,
zip, zap, zop,
zip,
zap,
zop,
zap, zop,
zip,
zap, zop, zip, zap,
Zop.
zip. Oh, there's too much hesitating going on. Okay, so what happened here is you passed it to her, but she wasn't looking at you, so she didn't know. But then she realized, but then she passed it back with only her eyes and not her hands, which makes it tricky, right? Okay, it's all good, but it's all good. I'm just setting the stage for the inevitable mind blowing that will commence. Let me have you start another round with zip.
Zip.
zap, zop,
Zip.
zap, zop,
Zip.
Zap.
Zop.
Mm. I'm a wooga-ing you. All right, Alicia, start for us.
zap, zop, zip, zap, zop, zip, zap,
Zop. Zip.
Zap.
Zop.
Zip.
Zap.
Zip. Zap.
Zop.
Zip.
Zap. Zop.
Zip.
Zap.
Zop.
Zip.
Zap. Zop. Zip. Okay, I'm gonna hold that one again. Good job, guys. Okay, now that we're experts, we're gonna change this up a little bit. Not the answers. Still the same order as far as the ip, ap, op, but at every beginning, the consonant sound has to change. So instead of zip, zap, zop, the next round might be clip, clap, clop. Then it might be bip, bap, bop. So whoever ends up getting past an op and has to start the ip part again has to pick another beginning consonant. Questions?
That's why.
So
All three words have to be the same consonant.
Yes, so whenever the new consonant is introduced, it has to go the series of the zip, zap, zop, or the ip, ap, op. Whoever is at the beginning.
So all three
pick
words
another.
have to be the same.
Yep.
All three words start with the same letter.
Right, okay. Okay, ooh, I just, the bot, you should see all of each other. I'm going home now. I didn't have enough caffeine. All right, okay, we're gonna start with zip, zap, zop, but then, you know, the next person that gets that in, don't freak out and pick a new consonant sound. Please start us off with the zip, zap, zop.
Okay.
It can be, absolutely. That's all right. Yeah, it absolutely can have the, instead of, it might be bip, bap, bop, but it could be blip, blap, blop. Yeah. Get creative, people. Whoa! Start us with the
Okay,
zip.
zip, zap,
Stop.
Swip.
swat.
No! Oh, I said no so meanly. What would it have been? Swap.
Swap.
Swap. Close though. Close. Let's have you start. Go ahead and start with the zip again.
Okay, zip, zap, zop. Tit.
She changed it a little bit, so what should the next one be to go in order? You know, what's a
She
little bit of
She made it
I
T,
know.
right?
Yeah, she did change it.
I was like, should I change the T too?
She took what I thought was a family-friendly event. Just turned it right on its head. You win some sort of prize. I'm not sure what yet. Right. Okay, let's have you start us, but start with a different consonant sound this time. Forget the zip. Start with something different to begin with.
Cut.
Clock. Hat.
Blip, lop.
No.
Nope.
All right. Hey, give you guys a round of applause. Okay. So tell me, and anyone can answer, not just the people in the circle that are here at the moment. What are you feeling? Like, what are some of the physical things you're feeling when you're being asked to do something like this activity? Okay, a little bit. A little nervous.
I got anxiety for all of you.
Now we saw at one point there was a little bit of a hiccup in the exchange of information, and that was because both people didn't realize something was being communicated, right? How often does that happen in our everyday activities? Yeah, a little bit tricky. So whose fault is it when that happens?
Well,
Both.
You raised your hand. Why did you raise your hand?
Because I thought the name of the game was to look at over there who was gonna come and meet, and I didn't.
You didn't know it could have been right here.
Right.
Interesting. But you wanted to go ahead and assume all the responsibility for that failure? Oh, you just were gonna.
But I have a bigger learning curve then.
Okay. All right. I like it. There's really no wrong answers. I just want to dissect a little. What did you say about that?
Communication is always a two-way street. So
Yeah.
It's always both people.
Yeah, I don't know what type of significant other status you have right now. I have a husband. He's been around for 14 years, bless his heart. But there are times like when I'm communicating with him and he's not paying attention. So how effective is that going to be? Probably not, right?
not very.
Right, and the same thing is, like, one of the things that I think in any relationship we can recognize is, what if I walk up to him and he is busy doing something? and his brain is already focused on something, and then I just want to interject whatever my information is, and he's not even in a mind space to be able to handle it yet. I think in the workplace especially, do any of you actually work in like an office, or do all of you work from your homes type situations right now? Okay. So that I'm going to give it the two-way application. I remember working in an office, a lot of times people would walk, I'd have an open door policy as a branch manager. That was when people could walk in whenever, and I'd be ready to like shift gears because I was doing the busy work. If the door was closed, it's because my brain was like on something, and it had to be in a certain time that things were happening. But if I were, it was the other way around too. If I needed something done by a staff member, I would look at what they were doing and wait until I knew they probably were in a frame of mind to be able to accept the information I needed to relay to them. Because it does no good if they're not able to give me full attention. And working from home, now I work from home in an office in my house with 3 young children, and so work is a loose term I use, but but when the same types of rules apply, like we're not only communicating, some of us probably have families that we deal with in our workspace, but when we're communicating with other people, it's a whole other game or a level, I guess. The game has been changed. Like I know Kylie does a lot of her work on Facebook, so the attentiveness of like an immediate eye contact exchange is a little bit skewed when there's the virtual world that we live in as well. But the same principles apply, that someone needs to be ready to relay information, receive it, and if they're not receiving it the right way, they may not know how to move forward with the information. So that activity just kind of peps us up, gets our blood flowing and ready to go. We're going to move forward to another activity here. And we can kind of disperse here. We'll kind of shift things up a little bit for you. Okay, sorry. All right.
Well, we know it was like.
Okay, so for the next activity, I need about the same number of people in a circle. So like half of you come back into a circle. It can be different people. They don't have to be the same groups, of course. And this one's going to be really super quick, okay?
Super quick.
Because this is where we're going to just like open up things to being silly so that we can really dive into the other hand. This is fine if we just do this side, okay? So this activity is called sound ball, and I want everyone to repeat that with me. Sound ball! Okay, we're just gonna do a couple quick rounds just to make sure that everyone here, even when you're on the outskirts here, you're gonna see stuff and you're like, oh, this is just silly and crazy, let's party. And everyone in here, like, don't freak out, but I want you to be like as weird as possible, okay? Because sound ball is gonna bring our comfort level like way out here so that we can like be totally comfortable going into our remaining activities. But this in my hands is a sound ball. Notice the size and shape of it, okay? When the ball gets passed to you, you need to catch it. And it needs to have the same integrity of size and shape. And it's not very heavy. See, it's not very heavy, so it's like, ooh, you don't have to be crazy about it. But every time it gets passed, it's similar to zip, zap, zop. As I passed it, I'm going to make eye contact. As it gets passed, it's going to make some kind of weird sound. And as it gets passed, it will be received by the person it's being passed to by them mimicking that sound. Then that person that receives it will turn to someone else, make a totally different sound and pass it, and that receiver mimics the sound, and then the new sound again. Questions from anyone in the inner circle, okay? Good.
That's a beautiful sound.
Okay, and this is the exact place that if you were to ever be silly anywhere, this is it. So, here we go.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Awooga. Awooga.
No.
Wop, wop, wop.
Wop, wop, wop.
Bazooka. I love it when it's a little bit like, oh, is this really about to come out of my mouth? All right, okay, now I need everyone, this is a little bit of a close quarters, but we're still gonna try this next activity because I love it. So I need 3 equal-ish sized groups and kind of spread as much as you can. So maybe a group in this quadrant, one in this quadrant, and then one in this quadrant. So separate into 3 groups. 3 Hustle up, hustle up. Here we go. Clock is ticking. All right, this equipment, maybe you need to stand guard so it doesn't get hit. Yeah,
Who
let's
would
make
not
sure
be-
the baby- It probably wouldn't cause severe damage to
Who
anything.
would not be
I know, right?
Okay, you're not gonna be allowed to sit, Paige, so, yeah, you can stand up. All right. Okay, these are very magical, very technical tool that I use. It's called a prime ball, and each of your groups is gonna get one of these, but you can't feel it yet. What's gonna happen with these is each of your groups needs to keep the prime ball aloft with the tap of whatever body part you wish to use. But keep in mind, like, we want to try to keep it in this area. And the number, the prime number I choose for this activity is 19. Okay, we're going to count to 19 within your groups. You can't touch it more than 1 time in a row yourself, but you can figure out whatever strategy works for your group to have 19 taps. And nobody gets to feel it ahead of time because it's part of the fun. You don't know how much does it weigh, maybe it's, no. But you need to keep it aloft. And it's gonna go kind of every which way, so you just be ready to retrieve it when it goes out in a circle.
I think you should stand.
And, yeah, just fine.
Okay, we'll take it.
So I guess the one person in the room.
Here's your question.
Is that what we're doing?
Are we like,
No touching, you have to tap it. So you have to keep it aloft.
The hot tip.
She's like, nobody. Don't wanna like throw her, you don't want any balls. Okay, so the first group that gets to 19 gets a special prize. And just start over. Everyone calm down. Okay.
Sounds like you guys are just bored out of your wits. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I could get everyone's attention, but I'm going back off the mic now.
Okay, so here's what I observed. No, wait. Before I say that, I want to know what, really quickly, one or two people from this group, how did you guys start to determine a strategy, or did you?
I think we kind of just
No
like.
strategy, okay?
I got closer.
I
was gonna do
Did everyone, yeah, did everyone touch the ball at some point to feel like maybe how much effort you need to put into it? Okay, how about in this group? Did anybody step up to try and give some sort of like, maybe if we try this, or maybe
There's
sort of getting at it? Did you try?
Yes.
Yes.
How long did you touch the ball?
Okay, what happened from your perspective over here?
We shut down the strategy.
What was it?
She went in a circle.
That was your original strategy?
We had Reds voicing opinions
And then it's like,
putting
let's
them
just-
down.
Right, so what that is tricky.
But
To
they
try to
weren't
have
willing to
particular-
try before we actually.
Interesting.
Somebody felt.
And what was the strategy that ended up winning? How many, how many of you touched it the time that it went to the winning? All of you?
We all
Okay, that's good. Okay, here's what I observed. Besides this just mayhem that I love about that thing. The attendance level is like, whoa, it's way up here because nobody in this room wants to be the one that drops the ball. Nobody does. What was interesting though is you guys were really, and you guys were pretty much too, there was a lot of the ball like shooting off other ways. Anyone more than the other one? Totally cooled up. You guys were like focused, even though there wasn't, I didn't hear a whole lot of discussion like, what can we try to make this work better? You guys weren't quitting. Like as soon as the ball fell, someone would grab it and just really quickly throw it back up because you're like, there's urgency. We need to get this task completed. This side, what I thought was interesting was that there was some pauses between the rounds where there really was some like discussion happening or directions being given.
A whole bunch of leaders right here.
It's always interesting to see it though. Like, so did any of the people that were hearing the directions though, did they feel like, oh, there's no way this is gonna work, or did you?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
My sister gave me the directions though.
Sometimes that's the dynamic that I am not qualified to address. But you still got it done. Now, were all of you satisfied with the way that it ended up?
Yep.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of
Celebration.
So ultimately, you got to the end result. Something that's worth noting though is if you're doing something and there's like a one or two people, or sometimes two or three people that have a specific vision in mind and they're like, I know how I want this to be done, no matter what. Like not everyone might have been on board. You were still willing to contribute and you got to still tap that ball up.
Oh, well, we
But-
tried both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried.
We compromised.
Okay, so you feel like it was a
I think it'd
compromise?
be easier to pass it back and forth across.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I mean, we tried both.
So really, like as in any type of project that we might have, there's probably more than one way to get to the end result. Sometimes it does have to be a little bit of give and take. This is the perfect example of like a little bit of a disagreement of like what I think really actually will work versus someone who's really set on yes, this will work. But ultimately you got there and it brought the team together to all work in some capacity, even though it may not have been everyone elevated at what their peak was and what they could contribute. So this is just a fun activity to be able to demonstrate in a very simple form the different thought processes, the different types of leadership styles, or sometimes lack of leadership, which is not a bad thing. Like sometimes in a group setting, there needs to be a little bit of give and take. You guys can kind of, if you're, I don't know, we're going to switch to another game here, but you're welcome to just stay in this formation at the moment. Something that's really been like eating away at me the last couple of weeks about leadership that is sort of, I feel like I need to address it. There was a fella, here's the story, guys. I was speaking at an event, you were there. I was speaking at an event about using improv in the workplace, what my experience was with it, the different dynamics of leaders. Like, I believe that some people are just natural born leaders in some capacity. Like, they just have something about them that people are drawn to them, they want to follow them. And that's like in any aspect of their life. I think there really are just natural born leadership skills. I think certain things can be taught. If someone is put in a management or a leadership capacity, there are certain skills that can be learned so that they can still lead people. But if they are not engaging, I think no matter what type of leader you are, if you're not engaging with your people and you're not hearing what they're wanting to contribute, like, you're not a leader. Like, if you are not engaging your people and letting them willingly and intentionally follow your strategies, you're not a leader. So what's interesting to me is when, actually after I did that presentation where I was talking about the collaborative nature of leadership, and a lot of people that scoff at the idea of bringing in an activity like this is because they have to activate it. The management of those companies will see that these people are excited about sharing their ideas, and they have to listen, they have to engage. And some management and leaders don't want to do that. They want to be like, this is the way it is. We don't need this other collaboration. And a gentleman walked up to me and handed me his business card and kind of chuckled and said, that's so interesting because this is exact opposite of what we teach. And his card said something about leadership training. And I was like, I'm not speechless often in my life. And I was just like, are you joking? Like, what are you teaching people then? Because it's wrong. But anyway, my point is, in some capacity, we all have different things that we are strong at. We have different skill sets that we're strong at. A lot of us know what our strengths are and we're aware of what our weaknesses are. So when we find a way that we can contribute, we can get our hand on that ball here and there, like, that's what's going to excite people. They want to be able to get their hand on the ball at some way, some capacity that they're comfortable with. But they need to be given that opportunity to play the game a little bit with the team. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, like, I'm all about leaders, but I'm there's just an angle on it that I think needs to be addressed more. I'm probably going to blog about it at some point, so I'll,
Megan, right?
yeah.
Okay, so I guess the way I look at leadership is there's leadership on all levels. No matter where you rank in a company, whatever company that is you work for, you can have someone that just came in and has natural leadership or whatever, has the capacity to learn and pick up on things quickly and can become a leader in the aspect of they are willing to be out there learn. They may not know everything, but they're out there learning and helping others that are on the same level. And they're still gleaning from the experience, but they're able to be a leader to even the leaders in the way that they approach things.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I think, especially in any type of work environment, the people that are exactly how you are describing it, they're hungry for that learning. They're always looking for the what's next. They're activating the things that they know, and they're trying to bring people in to help them grow too. Like, I'm sure Kylie loves it when she gets pointed out. But when she genuinely looks, this is a good thing. She genuinely looks for what other people need, so she can try to fill that gap, trusting the system that if everyone's helping each other, and like in improv, if everyone's making each other look good, if I'm putting all my energy on making you the star, it's going to be reciprocal. It'll eventually come back to me in that way. And when people are able to lead in their strengths, then people can see that.
I was gonna say, I don't know how many people felt this way, but I had some really good thoughts in my mind, and I was just too scared to like say it.
Wow.
Like, because sometimes you're in a group and then a leader just speaks up and then they become the leader, and so then you kind of hold yourself back. Like I was thinking, we need to make eye contact to the person you're passing it to, or say their name. Those are the thoughts that I was thinking, but I just never said it because, you know, I just was
As a
scared.
leader who had already been established.
You know, and so I think sometimes that can happen in even a work environment where you are suppressed and your ability to express yourself or be yourself and come up with those ideas it just goes away, or you know, you push it down within yourself, like maybe it's I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not that leader, you know, that I thought I was or that I wanted to be, you know.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that happens a lot, because if you had chimed in a couple of things, it may very well have enhanced the situation. But if you said something and they're like, no, that's a stupid idea, then you would have been like, I'm never coming out again. Yeah.
So I think you've got your people that just take charge, I want to do this way, this is the only way, and then those that just come in and say, well, let's try something new, but like in the instance of saying that, Jody, like my opinion is we just should have said mine. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna own it, this is mine.
Yeah,
And so everyone else knows that you're going for it.
yep, those are
Just like
all.
you would in any regular meeting, they're offering up, I'm yeah, offering up any type of tasks for a project. You pick what you want. You don't speak up first, well, screw you. So you gotta,
Oh, yeah,
you gotta jump in there and say, I'm taking charge.
yep, yeah, perfect, those are all excellent thoughts. Now, our next activity that we're gonna do is gonna take it up to the next level of some of these things we've been talking about. The natural leadership things are gonna kind of come into play, and we're gonna see some stuff in real living color, three-dimensional regressions. Anyway, all right, so I need everyone to find a partner for this one. All right. When everyone's in a pair, you stand. Okay? Do you have even numbers? Everyone have a pair? Every hand should be up if you're in a pair.
Oh.
Are we missing anyone? Oh, okay. We don't have a pair over here. Do one of you guys want to play in this one? It's really fun.
Get in and
We need one more pair.
Yeah, you're in the business.
I think I'll do this.
Are you?
Oh,
what are you? Oh, you're recording.
Yes, you're live streaming.
It's live streaming? How did I not know that? Okay. You know what? It's all right. Just watch on this one and then it can be bigger. Okay, so this activity is called knife fork. Everyone say that with me.
Knife fork.
Okay, now in your pairs, this is very simple, so don't overthink it. But within your pairs, I need you to become a knife and a fork.
Leave it to Holly.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Right now, as soon as you're ready. You never know. Some of, don't worry about what other people are doing. As soon as you are done, become totally silent so I know that you are done. Okay? All right. Now, are you holding the position still?
Already got you done.
Hold it. Hold the position. Okay, now you may look around the room. I see lots of different variations. Like, you got the 3 times, but also people that do this, that's acceptable too. I see different variations of knives. Some people like the one hand. Okay. All of these, I want to tell you, are totally acceptable answers. Because they have become, like, do you agree that one of you is a knife and one of you is a fork? Yeah, right? Okay, that one's pretty simple. Now we're gonna do one with crazy. Okay, now we need to group up a little.
Down now because I'm really tired.
Okay, now we need to pair up 2 pairs together. So it'll be into groups of 4. I need groups of 4. And we'll have one group of 5 if you want to jump in later.
I like the eye contact.
Okay. Here we go. Are you happy to get one of the hands up? If you have a group of 4, put your hands up. If you have a group of 5, it's all right. All right. Okay, for this activity, I need you to all work together, and this is very critical. It needs to remain totally quiet in here. You're not allowed to use any type of verbal cues. You cannot like grab someone else's arm and try to direct them to do what you want them to do. There is nothing but just moving into different formations and watching each other. And you need to become, in your foursome, a stove. Stove. No talking. Just examine the situation. As soon as you see someone that makes a bold choice, try to figure out in your mind what they might possibly be trying to do. All right, if it takes a moment.
So Phil.
Okay. One of you needs to get like still shots of something.
Oh, we are.
Okay. All right. Okay. As soon as you are in your position, then just hold still. I see a couple of you wanting to give directions. All right. Here. Excellent. Full like cooked up. Okay, I like it. All right, now as much as you can, if you can kind of turn your heads a little to see, like over here, I see all 4 burners. I see some kind of okay, I use like a wood burning stove. Yep, I love it. And then okay, all right. This one I picture being on an island in the middle of a big kitchen that has a big air flue thing. What's that thing called? Perfect. And I see this one is really a majestic, one of the most stunning pictures in our.
You gotta photo it.
Okay, everyone can go. Come back to standing. Okay. Try to up here. When I teach youth groups, I have to bring out the quiet coyote. Bring out the quiet coyote. I will. It works. All right. Okay, not a single one of you groups did the same thing. Did you notice that? You know what I love about that? Like all of us have seen some kind of stove, right? In our lives. And all of us, how many of you pictured a specific stove in your mind? Like did any of you picture the one that you have in your house or one that you've seen at work? Okay. Now, when you saw other people moving their body into some formation that didn't look like the picture in your head, what did you do?
I said, what the?
She did.
Literally happened.
Okay.
I was gonna ask them where they're shopping.
Okay. Ultimately, all of you somehow attached yourselves to the item. So at some point there had to be a transition where you're like, well, one way or another we have to all be part of the stove. Like, what was that transition point? Can anyone speak to that where you actually were like, well, the decision is already made, how can I contribute?
It was like, you see the pieces that you have, and then you're just like, you just gotta jump in.
Mhm.
Do it.
Yeah.
Got
So
the
did you
ones.
see exactly what you said? You saw the pieces that you already had. You needed to jump in and you needed to contribute something else to add to it, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna split in half-ish and go to the other side, 2 sides of the room. Is that about even number knowledge? Good. Okay. This one. Pretending you are on a wall, I'm your audience, and then, I'm your audience this way, I'll be turning this. But in these giant groups, you need to all quietly, and the same rules apply, you cannot touch or direct other people, whispering or you all need to become in these groups, a picture on the wall of a wedding party. Take your time, and if some of you want to kind of observe what's happening. Okay, keep going. The picture on the wall of a wedding party. I'm waiting until it looks like everybody is in some position. He's the drunk uncle in the corner. Okay, all right. Okay, everyone hold your position. Okay, I kind of see what's happening here, although I think
I
there's
think we're the only ones
the
that see it.
priest or something over here. Which, you know, technically maybe would be a little close to that, but it's okay. Because then, like, I was picturing bride and then we maybe have the bridesmaids
Yeah, that's
here.
what I was going for here.
I don't
waiting
see a
for a
room.
to step up.
If truly looking from this direction, it would have been, I mean, I was picturing one of these guys being in the room, but then it was like, there's
I was trying to ask the rest of us would sit down.
We're so missing.
I was thinking I was supposed to be like over here.
Uh-oh, Quiet Coyote is out. So when Quiet Coyote comes out, everyone needs to put up their coyote to show us that they Okay, now this one, I'm not gonna say you guys were wrong. But let's look at this. Okay, so we see, I'm hoping this is the bride's room. Okay. That's the world we're living in, so that's the picture we chose. Okay, so we have two brides, and then we have, you guys are the frame of the picture? Oh, the lights, okay, yeah, I like it. That's beautiful, it is. I knew it was something. And then a giant wedding party. Now, I've seen a handful of pictures in my day, and when I see one on the wall, usually the people are looking towards the camera, although I love the priest thing because there are all.
I think my butt looks better.
Go
How much more difficult was this when there was this many people trying to get a common goal? Especially without talking.
It was hard for me not to see.
Yeah? Why?
I like to take charge, and once I figured out Tennessee came up to be the preacher and we had a bride, I was like, oh, this is easy. We can fill in as bridesmaids, we get a groom, get some groomsmen, people sitting down, done.
Okay?
And I missed the part about on the wall.
Just a party for everybody. That's all right. Well, and the priest still was fine. There's no wrong answer technically. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do one more of these.
Oh, imagine
We were supposed to be looking.
All right. This is where, wow, you guys, this is gonna really test your skill level here, because this is gonna be the whole group. Ready for this? We're gonna pretend that we have peeled the roof off of the building, and the tops of your heads are like pixels on a screen, okay? Now you all need to work together to become the capital letter M, as in Megan, oriented towards, like, if I'm looking down at you this way. Remember the top of your heads are the pixels. That's the only additional
Stand on your
reminder
chair.
direction I get. Okay, so everyone needs to be a part of this M. Take your time, no talking, no talking. Oh, yeah. Cool. Getting that? All right, can everyone look around and agree that you have organized yourselves into an M? Why was this easier than the picture on the wall?
Because people are listening to the instructions.
Okay, that's to be fair, that's a big part of it.
We know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, we were sent a letter, a capital letter M. Bam.
Okay? And none of you
Everybody knows
thought,
what that is.
let's make this sassy. Let's do a cursive capital letter M. Did anyone have that they were going to just be
No,
done?
because you just want the task done.
Okay, yeah. You knew what the objective was. You were all familiar enough with the information that you knew how to contribute, yeah? Okay, we're going to do another one so you can kind of shuffle up here a little bit. Okay, I need you, again, we have the roof off the top. These are still pixels on screen. And I need you to all become a smiley face. Just a standard smiley face.
You're gonna have to take a photo because there's no way this is gonna reach.
Okay. Got a little extra sass in there, okay? Some of you still have looks on your face like you are not completely satisfied. Keep moving around till everyone as soon as everyone feels good about it, I want to see smiles on everyone's face.
Did you say we can't direct people?
Correct. No directing people, okay?
Just making sure.
Okay? All right. If you all wait, hey, remember it's oriented towards me, the viewer, looking down. So does everyone feel it?
Can you get mine? There we go.
Okay. Now you can all turn and look towards me. Excellent. I really do wish I could get did you get one up-ish? Kind of hard to get. You need like a drone, but also I would
Like a selfie stick, so it's out.
Yeah. For real. Okay, so some of you very specifically, I could tell were like, this is not happening right. What were your thoughts happening when you're like, this is a smiley face? Come on, people! Any thoughts
I was
from
thinking we can only go so long without leadership. Someone has to lead. That there's collaboration and leadership, and you can't have, generally speaking, without a leader or someone stepping into a leadership role, you're gonna have a cluster. Which
Yeah.
is what we had.
Literally. What happens when someone thinks they're assuming a leadership position, but like I did see several people very quickly and boldly make the choice of where they were going to put themselves, but they were so set on like, I'm here, that they were waiting for everyone else to conform to what they were doing, even though they were maybe not actually going in the right direction. Does anyone notice things along that line? Anyone want to speak to what their thoughts were on that without pointing anyone out in particular? Because there was a handful of people that I was like, I totally know their leadership style. But yeah, should get from both of you guys.
I just wanted to put people where they needed to be, like, for the vision of the majority of us. Like, I just want to say, hey, go there, go there, go there. Like, we could have got it done so much quicker if I could have just said, hey.
Yeah, okay, yeah, what were your thoughts?
Well, so at first, like, when we first, like, started right here, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna be the smile.
That's what I thought too.
But then there was
They
like
became a
too
smile.
many people, right? And so I was like, oh, okay. So then we all just kind of stepped back a little bit, because then I think at that point we realized that we were the outline of the smiley face, so we adapted really quickly.
Yeah.
But
That's kind of what I saw. Like at first I thought you guys were gonna be there, so I paused, and then all of a sudden everyone was like connecting you, and I was like, oh well, I'll start the smile then.
yeah, like I think we had one vision at first, and then I think we adapted to the group size. And what I mean, there were a couple people like that could have used a little bit more guidance at the end, but like I think that we figured it out. Like,
Right.
Being adapted.
Well, you did, yeah, you eventually got there. I think everyone was mostly satisfied with the end result. There's a lot of different variations, like in our minds, some of you were probably thinking dot for eyes and a smile. Maybe some of you were picturing there was gonna be a dot for a nose, but then I don't know how many of you were thinking there's gonna be the outline of the head as well. So there is like slight variations, even on something that seems very common. So that's a very clear demonstration of there needs to be the leader at some point, but if the leader is not necessarily understanding the whole vision of the team, that could be detrimental as well. So communication is really key. Yeah, Kylie.
So as someone who is a leader, it was really difficult to not be able to tell someone. So then I took the attitude of like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and shut up. Like I'm like, it kind of stifled me and like, you know, I can't do anything about this. Okay, I just give up and I'll stay right here, you know.
Yeah, that's a really great thing for you to actually bring up, because a lot of times for leaders, especially people like you, and I fall into the category of like, I'm usually the one that'll just like jump in and make a decision. And sometimes I'm a little stubborn about like, I know what it could be. Trust me, my vision is better than yours. Like, because that's just naturally how some of us are. But I also can relate to sometimes when it is not coming together the way that I think would be best, and kind of just being like, well, screw this, you know, what's the point? But that's actually something that's really great. And when I first realized that I do that was very eye-opening for me, because as a leader, someone that can naturally do things, it is critical for me to be able to recognize that if someone else wants to take the lead, even if they're not doing it quite the same way I would have, like I still need to support them and then use my skills to help fill in where those gaps might have been. I mean, obviously this is a very, very basic strategy to show that, but it will bring things to light for people. And I had that exact same moment one time where I was like, oh, wow, look at how I totally was just like, well, if they're not going to do it my way, well, what am I even here for? You know, I'm the leader. Like a lot of these things, they're just like these kind of built-in attitudes. And so that's why something like this is such a strong tool for every level. Because again, we're all leaders in different capacities and different things in our lives, but especially in the work environment, when we do have these things that we just feel like this is the way it's going to work and I know how to lead. Like the best way for us to continue to enhance our leadership abilities is to see where other people might still be developing in theirs and try to enhance that and come outside of ourselves to use our abilities to strengthen what they could do better in the future.
See, that is so weird because I never wanted to boss anybody. Like I just thought, oh, they'll get it, they'll see it, they're looking around, they'll see it. And I kind of had the mentality like when you're lost in the woods, like you don't move because somebody will find you. So like I was thinking,
I
like,
would not stay
if we just stayed like right here, but I was just thinking like if we just stayed right here, like they'll look around and they'll see that their vision is different. Like,
Absolutely.
I never wanted to like say, no, you go here, blah, 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 whatever. So then,
And you guys are sisters, right? You have the same genetics, same genetics from the same gene pool, but very different personalities. That's the same way in probably every family. But that's what's great. That's what's amazing is to know that's where the balances are. That's where the power comes from working in a group, because you on this particular activity or maybe a lot of different types of things, you're like, they're not doing anything really wrong. Like, why would I go step on their feet if they're trying their best to do what they think is right? So really recognizing where those different attitudes are, like that's what helps enhance the team too, is that if you know that Jenny is quiet, but she's thinking, she's observing, she still wants everyone to do well. And then you have Mary over here who's just like, what? You know, there's like all these different attitudes that understanding that they're all present helps everyone work better as a whole when they are acknowledged and still understanding where the strengths and weaknesses lie. Any other thoughts?
You know, it doesn't matter what company, what business, what foundation we have, we all need to be validated in every situation because we're there contributing.
Absolutely.
So someone needs to acknowledge us, and I think strong or weak or medium, we all need that.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't have asked for a better segue into our next activity. Because the validation thing, and this is good. Timing is working out good. Okay, so are you comfortable sitting on the floor, you know, crisscross applesauce? I used to call it Indian style, but my 6-year-old, when he was 6, corrected me and he said, Mom, it's crisscross applesauce.
Wherever.
Any way, shape, or form. In a big circle. Sorry, in a big circle.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry. So sorry. Exactly. It's all right if you're kind of not an exact circle. Okay, you guys. So, some great things have been pointed out. I love that segue of the validation of each other. The next, we actually have just 2 activities left. And not everyone gets to actually participate in this one, other than you're all participating because you're all observing, but I don't have enough little slips of paper for everybody for this activity. But it's really important to validate. I remember in the corporate world that if someone, like we were told to check life at the door, and we needed to be present at work, and we needed to not be talking about whatever crap we had going on, and whatever. Are any of you familiar with that type of dynamic that it's like, we're here at work, I don't care about what types of life problems you have or whatever. I think it's starting to shift a little bit more and be a little bit more of a societal norm that people are recognizing that we are people. But if we're not validating other people, if they walk in the door and they clearly look like they are not having the best start to their day, if that is addressed and you can have a quick little, you know, let's talk about it, let's powwow, then they get that validation, then they can move on to what they need to accomplish that day. Nothing bothers me more than people who try to stifle human emotion. I'm like a typhoon of emotions, laughing, crying, whatever. There's something happening coming from my expressive zone all the time. But this activity is called How You Say It. Everyone say that with me. How you say it. Okay, so how often is what I'm saying literally about the words that I'm saying versus the way that I'm saying it? 10%. Okay, not like the actual statistic. Yeah.
I thought it was like right or wrong question.
Yeah, like, when you're saying something, how often do you rely 100% on just the words versus having some sort of integration of emotion or feeling behind what you're saying?
Relying on a lot, but fail on that.
Okay? What's the difference in our world too, where a lot of it is digital? Whoa, have we ever run into challenges of like, I thought you were mad. I'm like, well, I wasn't even texting in all caps. I wasn't mad. Like, the message is lost. Because how different is it if I were to walk up to you and I'm like, you are just such a jerk. Like, you can tell I'm mad. You can feel it. My body language is here. You're able to see in my eyes. Other than if I'm like, hey. Anyway. So there's a lot with body language. Okay, so before I talk too much about that, I'm gonna pass this bucket around. If you would like to take a slip of paper, please do, and then pass it around. You don't all have to take one. These, and don't let your neighbor see what your paper says. These are all different emotions, states of being. Sometimes they're things that are like maybe a nervous tick that we don't have with public speaking. How many of you are sometimes in a situation where you need to talk in front of people? Quite a few of you, right? Do you ever notice when you're watching people talk, if they have like a nervous tick and you can almost not pay attention to what they're talking about because they're like all the time or doing something that's just like, whoa, someone needs to coach them. Okay, so on those slips of paper, there's a whole range, again, of either emotions, states of being that we might find ourselves in, or just some kind of like a quirky tick, okay? Now we're going to, whoever has a slip of paper is going to each take a turn to say a very anticlimactic line, like, we're out of toothpaste. We'll have it be something along those lines. In fact, let's have it be that. We are out of toothpaste. So you're going to say it in whatever capacity is on that slip of paper. And I want it at like a 10. So if yours were sad, like you need to emote what it would be like if you were so sad when you're saying, we're out of toothpaste.
Are we standing up to do it?
It probably would be best when it's your turn to stand up so you can get your body into it. Take a moment, and actually, Kylie, we'll have you start.
Add words to it.
Nope. You can add words.
Damn,
Right, no adding words, but you can really like take a moment if you need to like get yourself in that frame of mind. If you need to think of something that you've experienced that has made you feel that way, then that's fine. Take a moment. So she's going to say, we are out of toothpaste in whatever the capacity is that she was given, and we're going to see if we can identify what it is that she is feeling right now. So whenever you're ready. And if we don't get it the first time, she can do it twice, but then we'll move on.
Can't you tell us afterward?
Yeah.
We are out of toothpaste.
Mischievous.
Diabolical.
Can I? Are anyone close?
Oh, mystery.
Maniacal.
Evil.
Okay.
Say again.
Devious. Okay, everyone.
Do it again, Kylie, do it again.
Disgusting. Irritated. Creepy is sort of like it.
Any other guesses?
Weird.
Oh, I thought someone was gonna say it.
Somebody said weird. No, creepy.
Sneaky.
Sneaky.
I started to say that, but I said sniz. Now it's stupid. Oh, yeah. I thought you were gonna say it.
Okay. Yep, next.
I know, right?
We are out of toothpaste. Courageous. Yes.
Yeah, yes. Really, yeah, as she's getting up, really quick thought on that. What if she had not been like, oh, you needed,
No, you didn't.
right?
It was the shaky part that threw me off.
I was like trying to be like scared and then like, we're out of toothpaste.
That's what got me. I was like, oh, she's scared and she's doing it. It's
So the
courage.
body language really brought it home, okay?
Matter of fact.
Not apathetic.
Nonchalant.
Matter of fact.
Cool, depressed. Can everyone pause? Let's let her do it again. Like really
Quiet.
We're out of toothpaste.
And
Matter of
noise.
fact.
She's noise.
Disappointed.
Matter of
People
fact.
are stupid.
I don't know how to like put that with this.
That's what I know. It's weird when it's not something we normally do. Okay. So was anyone close?
No, I don't think so.
What was it?
4.
Okay, what's something else you might associate with boredom if we're overacting?
Yawning.
Oh my gosh.
Yawning, yeah, okay, cool, great job though, that was still a great job.
Superstar.
No cuss words.
Cool.
We're out of toothpaste.
Nervous.
There we go.
What was it?
Just
Good.
And it helps that I'm anxious. Like, that's crazy. We're out of toothpaste.
Confused.
Yep.
I want to go next.
Okay.
We're out of toothpaste.
Terrified.
What would make you
Calm
think
down,
different
Destiny.
between just scared and terrified? What do you think was different about her body language?
Just powering.
You don't power scared. Right, okay, yeah, cool. All right.
I know. That's hard. I don't think
Some of them are pretty tricky.
I seriously, this is hard.
You can do it, Paige.
You can just try it once, we'll see how it goes.
We're out of toothpaste.
Shy.
Nervous.
Intimidated.
Inverted.
Embarrassed.
We're out of toothpaste.
Standoffish. Distant.
Loner.
Lonely. Does that count? Loner.
Good job. That was awesome. That was hard.
You know, at the time, you she's still sort of smiling, but you really were thinking about like what would the body language be?
Yeah, I'm like, how do you say lonely?
Right,
We're out of toothpaste.
Right. Yep. Okay. All right. Who's next?
We're out of toothpaste.
Shy.
Sad.
Quiet. Depressed. Introverted.
Okay. Let's see.
One more time. One more.
Try again.
We're out of toothpaste.
Fragile. Scared.
Hidden.
Quiet. Quiet.
What other things maybe just with her body language, maybe not necessarily emotional?
Uncomfortable.
Irritated.
No.
Closed
Unsure.
off. Closed off.
Embarrassed.
No.
Unsure of yourself.
No.
What is it?
Okay.
Intimidated.
No, that's good.
I can see that.
It's kind of like more scared.
Good job.
We're out of toothpaste.
Unsure.
Embarrassed. In trouble.
What was it?
Avoid eye contact.
So that would be more like me all on the show. Happened last week.
Impatient.
We are
Preoccupied.
Distracted.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Keep coming.
We're familiar with that one, aren't we? Yeah, clearly she's distracted like all of us. Okay, all right, next. Let's go next one.
We are out of toothpaste.
encouraging.
Excited.
Too much.
Motivated.
Confident. We are out of toothpaste.
Matter of fact.
Sure.
Inspirational. Correct.
Encouraging.
I use it really hard.
Discovery.
Hopeful.
Oh, good. That's good.
Try not to do too much.
We're out of toothpaste.
Disappointed.
Frustrated.
Aggravated.
Annoyed.
Pissed. Searching.
Over. That was cover try again.
Discovery.
Searching.
Looking.
Not a toothpaste.
Frustrated.
Disappointed. Defeat. Someone say it?
Defeated.
Yeah. Someone said it. I heard it.
All right.
Defeated.
Good job.
A good one.
We're out of toothpaste.
Annoyed, irritated.
Yeah, yes.
Attitude.
Matter of fact.
Closed off.
Not an emotion.
Teenager.
Accusing.
Yeah, he's doing it for Bobby.
Defensive.
Making a point.
That's all I can see.
Close off, close off.
We already said this word.
You did it?
You can always count me off.
What was your assigned state?
Arms crossed.
Oh.
What did it tell us about her, even though it wasn't even an emotion?
Arms crossed means she's done. It's over.
Yeah, it immediately makes us all think, "Oop, something's not right, right? And she didn't even have any emotion assigned. So that's where we got what is latte. Any other ones? We're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
We're out of toothpaste.
Frustrated.
Mad, irritated, pissed off, puffy.
Stomach
Different. Oh, hateful. I'm getting there.
What is it?
Luxuries.
Oh, goodness sakes. This girl, this is a hard one.
We're out of toothpaste.
Sassy.
Declarative.
To the point.
Handball.
Was that a 10 of that?
Teenager.
That one? I want a 10.
Come on.
Do it like another one. No, he doesn't have this.
Do it like Ashton with them.
We're out of toothpaste.
Sassy.
Arrogant.
I would have said sassy too. Oh. Something tiny is
We're out of toothpaste.
You guys, that's how you take happy to each other. Did y'all do role reversal?
We're out of toothpaste.
Impatient.
Annoyed.
We're out of toothpaste.
Tired.
Exhausted.
All right.
Relieved.
Yes.
In pain. Sad.
Is that the last one?
Good one.
All right.
Wait, one more.
Oh,
there's two more.
awesome.
Everybody got one.
Oh, excellent.
We are out of toothpaste.
Matter of fact.
Upset.
Declare.
Motherly.
We are out of toothpaste.
You
Boldly.
bring it alive.
Bold.
Teacherly.
Good job.
Yep.
What did she say? Confidence.
Confidence.
We're out of toothpaste.
Hurry.
Congratulations.
We're out of time.
Okay, we're gonna unpack this one real quickly so we can get to the last activity because we're getting a little short on time. But just tell me what some of your thoughts were during that. There's gotta have been some different things that went through your minds. Like some of you had things that you never are. Some of you may have got something that you're totally used to being.
I was happy I got happy.
What type of thoughts do you have? Especially for some of those that were difficult, like maybe
I had a
you
hard
were-
time putting myself in alone. I'm like, what do I do when I'm alone? And how do we relate that? Like, there was no vocal in that at all. So I had
Sure.
to figure out how I was going to represent lonely in my body language.
Have you ever seen someone who's lonely though?
Yeah, well, that's where I got that, like,
Yeah.
secluded away from everyone.
Mm-hmm. How does, oh, sorry, was there another comment right I just love moving humanness. Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out how to make eating out of toothpaste hopeful. Just it didn't make sense to me. Like a lot of
Because
them.
you
I
gotta
think
take a trip to
pictures
the
of-
grocery store and sneak a bag of candy into the cart. My son's always.
Sometimes as a mother, you're like, yes, run a toothpaste. I need the store by myself. Because it's 7 and I gotta do it
So do
now.
you feel like taking it literally about what you were saying would make it harder?
Yeah, because it didn't make sense to me.
Sure.
How can you be hopeful when you're out of toothpaste? I can see being sad, depressed,
Even
anxious,
15
frustrated.
minutes alone, sometimes you've got 4 kids. It's
Like,
exciting.
woo, I'm at a toothpaste.
Going to the store.
Okay, so
By
how many of
myself.
you, this, I love this body language one. One is just arms crossed. Like, how often do we body language and we totally misinterpret what they might be going through that day, based off of what they're doing, how they're carrying themselves. How often do you think about how you're carrying yourself?
Rarely.
Okay?
I think about that a lot.
Good. Why do you think about it all the time? Oh.
That's a whole new level.
That's just
Look at some
pretty
of the others that thinking about it.
Yeah, we are. And it says a lot, I think it says a lot about ourselves. Like, did you have a comment on that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's done. Were you done with that thought? Yeah, but.
Well, I would say like, well, I always like try to present myself in the most comfortable way that they're gonna put the most comfortable around me. So I try to like, adapt to them so that way they open at me.
Yeah, oh, totally. Okay, I'm gonna, one quick story, then we're gonna go to our last activity. The self-awareness that we need to have will enhance the way that we can be approachable to people. People will want to be around us if we seem like we are approachable. I remember when I was a teller, way back when I first started in banking, my just natural resting face is not very pleasant. I'm a pretty happy person, and I'm generally in a decent mood. And in the workplace, I was always the one that people were like, my coworkers would count on me to be the one who's upbeat and uplifting. But when I'm just like sitting thinking, I have like this perma scowl line, and I'm like, it's resting biatch face, like some of you heard of RBF. It's a problem. But people, I would hear like 10 or 12 times I heard in my first 6 months of working there, like usually some gentleman would be like, you'd be a lot prettier if you smiled. And I'm like, whatever. It actually then would turn my normal mood into like, excuse me, I'll show you a smile. Anyway, but I started to become aware because multiple people were identifying something. So even though I knew I was in a good mood, the way I was naturally just like my body rests was not appealing to everybody. So you have to kind of switch it on. And that's something that even when I'm on the phone or from then on when I've been in customer service, I would sit at my computer and I would consciously think, lift your eyebrows a little and have a slight smile. So I would look probably crazy. But people on that, yeah. I kind of thought I was up to something, which I usually am. But I consciously needed to work on it because that's how other people perceived me. So was it, whether it's right or wrong, when people see that, if you get enough feedback, like you should, if you want to really succeed in the business world, you should take those little nuggets for what they're worth and figure out how to apply it and tweak it so that you can just up your own game, you know? Okay, so we have one more game. How are we doing on time? Do you have something that's like pressing for the next thing? This next one? Okay, this next one, oh yeah, you'll like this one, guys. If you don't, then I don't want to hear it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do though. This group, well, I think we're gonna all play together. I was thinking I'd separate you, but I feel like we can stay together in a group. But we need to shift enough though that we actually have everyone in the circle so we can see the order. So let's do, and we can stay seated. Okay, for one quick warm up, this last game is called Story. Everyone say the with me.
Story.
Some of you have probably played some variation. There's lots of different ways to do story in a round. Really quickly to warm up so that we can just like get our brains functioning. We're gonna start right here with you. And I wanna go around as fast as we can. I want you to say the first word that comes to your mind. No, wait, hold on, let me give it a frame. I'm gonna give you framework. I'm gonna give you framework so that you can't do anything too crazy. It's gonna be the first one that comes in your mind with the letter that you're assigned in the order of the alphabet. So you're gonna say a word that starts with A, you're gonna say a word that starts with B, you're gonna say C.
Do it, just do it, Tennessee.
And it'll start over because we have more than 26 people, but does everyone know the English alphabet? If you stutter, like sometimes people are like, they don't know, they get stuck, they get hung up on it. As long as you can keep track of what letter you're on, here's a trick. Like say my letter were M and I can't think of a word. Like just start using the letter and something will come out. So if I'm like monkey, Mabel, Massachusetts. Like if you start using a letter with energy, like something will come out because we've all used a word that has started with every letter of the alphabet. It's in here. It's already in there. So don't second guess yourself. And you're gonna say it out loud. And we're gonna start here with A. Does anyone have any questions about what we're doing? Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Apple.
Bungalow.
Even.
Friday. Giraffe. Happy.
Indigo.
Joyous.
Kilo.
Love. Mary.
Open.
Pretty.
Queen.
Robert.
Sassy.
What?
Umbrella.
Victor.
Water.
X-ray.
Zebra.
They're missing a
Why?
It's, oh.
Why?
Oh, why? Yep.
I was.
Yacht.
Perfect.
Zebra. Thanks.
Aloha.
Okay.
Balls.
You guys made that dirty. Oh, I was there. We got to jump back here.
Doormat.
Okay.
Oh, we're on
E.
Evans. Frank.
Okay, and we're gonna stop there. I just want everyone to go around.
Oh,
Oh, you had a great word.
Great!
Okay. Now we're going to tell a story in the round. And I need you to all just take a deep breath with me first. And let go of any preconceived notions of where you think you want this story to go, because there's a 100% guarantee it will not go the way you think it should. But if you open your hearts and your minds and your willingness, together we're going to make a story that we will all hopefully be okay with. All I'm looking for is we're cool with it, okay? All right, now with this, sometimes I do a couple of different levels to build up, like we would do one word at a time. It's really difficult because sometimes people might say there, and are they like, oh no, which there? They are? There is a place? There?
Context.
Like, yeah, there's very little more room for context if you only get one word. So a lot of times I like to play it the one time, which is why I'm telling you about it so we can paint the visual, that if you only have control over one word, it is really frustrating to try to keep a flow of a sentence, to know when to end a thought and start a new part. So sometimes it ends up being like just like an eternal long sentence about whatever, where it doesn't have any forward movement. How many of you have read a story before? Okay, what are some things that are involved with a story?
Who, where, when, when.
Verbs.
Okay, say that again slowly and louder.
Who, what, where, when, when.
Okay,
What happens next?
Beginning.
Yep. Yep. What are some other things, like what attaches us to stories? Characters. Emotions. Yep. Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna tell the story in the round. I want to try to have go at least one time around, but we'll see when it comes to a natural end, we're gonna let it end. So if it only goes half the circle, that might be the case. But you're gonna get to say at least one sentence. We're gonna focus on one sentence. It might get a little bit longer if you have the thought. You want to do maybe it's 2 sentences, okay? And we need to just keep it moving so that we can find out what's gonna happen. Like if we have a character and nothing happens, there's no introduction of a challenge or something they want or need, then what's the point of the story, right? So think about some of those elements when you're trying to contribute, but don't think too far ahead. I want you guys to get lost in enjoying the story that you're hearing unfold before you, so that you are ready to just jump on to whatever the person said in front of you, because that's really all you need to worry about is what's being set up in front of you, okay?
Are we supposed to say yes and?
Actually, I'm glad that you asked that. Have you played this before?
No,
Oh.
you just mentioned it earlier. so-
Yeah, because a lot of times, in fact, yeah, let's institute that in this activity, because if you actually start your sentence with yes and, then you have no other reason but to move it forward. Good job.
I don't understand by that.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen
So
with
that
that.
we're not arguing with.
Yeah,
the
like
story.
sometimes people will say something that's way off the cuff, like, and then the ice cream truck went off the edge of the cliff and lit on fire. And the next person's like, well, now that's the end of the story. Where are we gonna take it now? But if they have to say yes, and then he became a superhero that flew with flames on his hair. I don't know. Like you have to actually acknowledge what it is. That is the reality, whether you like it or not, and then add something to it. So, yeah, good. I need a suggestion to start this story. How about something that you might find in your garage?
Socials.
I heard wrench.
Christmas
I heard
lights.
wrench.
I just wanted to say.
Okay, wrench
I'll
is
say
our
Christmas
suggestion.
lights.
A wrench needs to somehow be mentioned in the story, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about the wrench. It can be whatever you want. But a wrench needs to be involved in the story. We're gonna start with you. And so remember at the end of the sentence, and let's go clockwise, that at the beginning of each of your sentences, you say yes, and then this happened. But you don't actually have to say, and then this
Does the
happened.
wrench have to be included right away?
You can do whenever we want. So it might not be included until it gets all the way over here. Who knows? All right. Yeah.
You only can say a sentence at a time.
A sentence or two. If you have like a thought that you want to have, that's totally fine. Just don't like monologue it. Okay. All right. So this is the story of the wrench, and we're gonna start here.
There was a man who was walking down the street. Yes, and
He was walking so fast, he tripped on an object.
yes, and he bloodied his head. But then a UFO flew from the sky and landed right in front of him.
Yes, but he was not nervous because he knew the driver.
Yes, and the driver was drunk.
I love it.
Yes, and yes, and the driver asked the man if he had a wrench. Yes, and he decided to jump into the UFO with the wrench and go to some bush special that he loves.
Yes, and it turned out that the driver was Santa Claus and his reindeer were sick.
Yes, and then he awoke from a deep sleep.
Yes, and then he comes Rudolph to the rescue.
Yes, and then blanket.
Take your time.
And Rudolph showed up.
Sounds about right.
Yes, and he jumped on Rudolph's back and slapped him on the rear.
Yes. And then Rudolph bucked while they were on their way.
Yes, but he didn't know he actually slapped me on the rear.
And then
And then,
Yes, and then the elves joined in with the spanking.
yes, then Santa knocked the elves out.
Yes, and then Santa thought, now what did I do?
Yes, and then Mrs. Claus comes in exclaiming,
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
And then she was bewildered by what she saw in the bar that night. And she decided that they needed to go to a homeless shelter and give back.
Yes. And then the little children at the homeless shelter were so excited to see Santa and Mrs. Claus that they cried tears of joy.
Yes. Exactly. And then Elvis and Madonna sing a song.
Yes, and then the party started.
Yes, and all this time they're drinking hard alcohol and vodka.
Then Santa threw up into the soup kettle.
And then the elf on the shelf said, "Where am I anyway?" Oh, and that's our story. Now that you guys are all ramped up and you're like, dang it, now I'm getting too much. It's always, the elf on the shelf sees a lot of things.
And he can't unsee it.
Okay, so really quick to unpack this, and then we're gonna wrap up here. What is it like for you, like when you're here and you hear this sentence? What do you think?
You got a
when
story in your head
Mhm.
as it's coming around, and you're trying not to prejudge, and then somebody throws a loop at you, and you're like,
Or a wrench, yeah. Okay, how does it affect your desire to contribute if the story isn't going the way that you want it? Or does it?
well, you just try to think of something to say. I mean, if it doesn't go on my way, you gotta be flexible enough to change.
Did any of you feel like when it got to your part that you were like, what can I do to really up the ante of this? Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts like on sometimes the sentences if you're really not sure where it's going, you're like, I just need to keep this moving forward. That happens sometimes, so maybe there isn't a whole lot of excitement that occurs in however many 2 or 3 sentences. That's natural. But what is that? I mean, how does that guide things when it is moving? What does that do for you guys here?
I was getting bored, so I wanted to throw a wrench in it and make it funner.
Sure.
Which is why you didn't.
What else things think?
No, it was fun. It got pointed, then it started dragging again.
No offense, guys, started dragging it.
Yeah, you're boring. You didn't thank me.
What do you think caused it may not have been the story that's your style, right? So we all have different styles, different things that we think are funny and some things that we don't think are funny, and that's totally normal. So in the end, I usually end on the line that makes people laugh because that's a great way to stop when we're all connected with that laughter. But it could have gone on. We could have had chapters and chapters, a whole novel of story that would have eventually, as the comfort level was there, we could contribute things that were a little bit more out of the normal for everyone else. What's normal in here, what's normal in my brain is different than what's normal in your brain. So being open to what the collective whole is. This one, this activity sometimes can take a really long time because we do some different stages and stacking. So then it does get a little bit more deep in seeing like different twists and turns come from different personality styles. But again, it still has kind of that underlying theme, but especially when you're working with your teams, being able to know what other people are good at and what you can maybe expect from them. Because there's certain people in the room that we probably always expect some smart aleck remark from, something.
That's weird.
I intentionally wasn't even making eye contact with you, but you're self-identified as the smart aleck, and I knew that. But we do have a lot of things that become like our norm, and we know kind of what to expect from ourselves and from other people, and that helps us to collaborate on a deeper level. So that was story. I'm gonna wrap it all up here, and I want to get a picture with everyone if that's cool. But like the whole reason I do this, I kind of feel weird like talking and moving around, but I don't want everyone looking at my rumbles the whole time. The rest of the time, I'm gonna just go like this. I'm gonna do a 42-minute dance. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm wrapping it up on this story because I like stories. We all have stories. We all should share our stories because those connect us too. The good and the bad and the whatever. Sometimes people shy away from the stories that are not as pleasant or that are a little more emotional. They want to find those things that make them feel better and latch, but really it's the yucky things that we've experienced in life that connect us. So I always encourage like having that closer connection with the people that, especially that you're working with, because you can achieve really great things when you're able to let yourself be who you really are and accept other people for who they really are. The thing that I notice the most, especially in things like that how you say it activity, like sometimes people walk in the room, that's how they're presenting themselves that day. Sometimes whether they know it or not. But that's like something happened to cause them to be that way. It might have just been that they had a flat tire on the way to work that day, and that's why they're in bed that day. It may have been that they had a series of things that happened throughout their entire childhood, or what different relationships that they've had, like some of the things that we have that we hold on to within ourselves starts to shape who we are, and not having the appropriate outlets and like the right people around us to help us understand that that's cool. Like we're cool like however we are. Whatever our story is our story. And it still has more to be written. So accepting things for what they are and really validating people for who they are in that moment and helping each other all along the way is what's going to help us all excel to the next level. So quick little story about a performance that I did the other night. Sometimes I really like to just throw people away for a loop. And so I was doing this corporate event. It was a 1-hour show. And I was like, okay, guys, I've prepared for you something extra special that your company management has decided is something that you need to take your business to the next level. It's a 42-minute rendition of the Hallelujah chorus to a ribbon dance. Anyway, there was technical difficulties and the song wouldn't play. But anyway, I ended up still doing this like ribbon twirling thing, and like, you know, the full, like, you've seen ribbon dancing. I bought a ribbon and I was gonna twirl it whether the music came on or not. And then I watched the looks on people's faces because a lot of them were like, what is happening here? And a lot of people, some of them were laughing, some of them were whatever. But immediately they knew that it was okay to be kooky and have fun around me, and as an entertainer, that's something that's really important. So then the rest of the night, I could just do whatever kind of weird stuff I wanted, and they were on board because they saw right out of the gate what I'm bringing to the table, and that it's okay that we're going to do something wild and crazy. Not everyone functions that way, but I love and celebrate the quiet person that comes in and keeps to themselves just as much. My husband is the exact opposite of me, but I'm learning to appreciate him in a new way because he has different strengths than mine. He's very analytical, he's very quiet and reserved, unless he is super comfortable. But it's because he has different strengths that we can balance each other out if we can appreciate those things. So the takeaway really, hopefully you all had different things, different thoughts and feelings and moments where you're like, oh, I recognize that about myself. Like I wasn't the first one to jump in on this, or I was the first person to jump in on this. Those different things that you noticed about yourselves, some things you noticed about other people, like we were able to witness in live action the different ways that people behave and interact, but ultimately we made things together. We created things that we were all satisfied with. Some of them we liked probably more than others, but together we accomplished those things and we each brought something different to the table. So really, I hope that whatever your different, unique takeaway was, that you can embrace it for what it means to you, because it doesn't really matter what it was for everybody else. If it's something different to you, that you realize a little something about yourself that you can take and add to whatever your tool belt is, that's where the win comes in. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to come in and play with you guys and have a little sampling of improv and life in the workplace. And thank you very much for all of your participation. You guys are excellent.
So let's, before everyone like rushes off, let's get a group picture real quick. We do have a special gift for Megan.
doing the dream boards.
Woo! Woo! Don't worry, you guys don't
She's
have
the
to.
selfie queen, by the way.
Yay, Holly!
I was screaming.
Nice, here's my props, come on!
You get one.
I clapped like that for you guys. Okay, so I have to say that Victoria is freaking fantastic. If you guys don't know Victoria, you're missing out because she actually came to one of our social events we had this summer and hung out with us. Like before she was even a distributor, just came and hung out. And I think that's really, maybe I'm wrong, but where she realized we're more of like a family than just crazy at works people. Like we legitimately spend time together. But she is amazing. She is just a few distributors short of diamond. And I will tell you, she's a rock star. She's done it all on her own. I have never once in the whole time even given her an order or a loyal customer or a distributor. So when I say that she is a rock star, I mean she's a rock star. You started in what, May?
June 12th.
June 12th, guys. June 12th, and she's just a few distributors shy of diamond. So when I tell you it's possible, it's possible. She's doing it all over and over, and I'm super excited. She has big dreams, big aspirations, and nothing stops her from going to where she wants to go. She is she works full time. She's a brand new wife. She went on vacation during all of this. She had a wedding, so nothing stops her from working her business. And I'm super excited for her to share her dream board, spotlight, miss, or whatever it is. Oh, hey, clap for her.
Here's Victoria. I was waiting for that.
Here's Victoria. She has all the secrets.
They're not secrets, I'm willing to tell. Okay. Okay. Do you want me to hold back? So did I just explain what's on my board? Is that what
Talk about your
dream. So this is my dream board. I'll just kind of, for my dream board, a lot of people put like stuff they want to reach for, but I do a lot of what's going to motivate me or what reminds me. Like a big thing like stay humble, I'm a strong person, like I'm happy and I deserve this, And then other stuff I put on here, remind me to be appreciative. Remind me to keep happiness in my life and how to do it, And then here's like the things I put on here, things I want to reach. I love Tiffany. If anyone knows me, this is where I always make my wish list every Christmas, birthday, anniversary, that place. Or like these, like I'm obsessed with like scary, horror, anything dark and disturbing. That's my cup of tea. So these are going to be, I'm getting a whole leg done of horror and scary stuff like down my leg. And these are like my goals I want to get. Like I'm be able to have to pay for all that whole leg. That's a lot of money. Or getting a nice car. I told my husband that the next car that I get will be a luxury car. So woohoo, I'm getting that. And hold on. Oh yeah, and this one's my favorite one. I know I'm pretty every day. People need to hear that. So I gotta tell myself that every day. I want to go on vacation whenever I want to. I want to be able to work on vacation. When I was in Maui, I got customers while I was going snorkeling. You know what I mean? So you should, as long as you can incorporate like this, like into everything, like you want to be able to go do this. Well, keep your business in mind too, though. Anything you do, you can gain so much. Even if you're just going to the store, even if you're going on a camping trip with your buddies, even if, I don't know, it's endless opportunities, but it's all about how you can find a way to make it your own and incorporate it in everything. That's what like your dream board, at least that's what my dream board does for me. It reminds me about how I can do this anytime I want to do it.
Where's your dream board at in your house?
This one goes into my spare room where my workout room is. So when I work out, I look at my dream board. Sweet. So
you said this one, do you have multiple?
What?
You said this one, do you have multiple?
Well, I have a lot of dreams, and then I have like other things like my body dream board and stuff like that. I don't know.
So does it help you like visually see this when you're working out? Like you do look at it and like, what do you think?
Yeah, because I mean, like a big reason like why I work out is because I'm not happy where I'm at. You know what I mean? But then like a lot more times, like the way that you should think about it, you should be in love with who you are because you know what I mean. And like it shouldn't be like okay, like oh you're fat and ugly. It's like I'm this is where I'm at. I'm happy where I am, but I want to improve. This is where I can be because I am strong. I am a kind person. I deserve to be happy, and I should be able to deserve to put myself together.
I deserve to work so hard to get there, you know? So these are the things I deserve because I do work hard.
Awesome.
Woohoo! Good. And they can still hear us. I know.
Well,
Kind of, yeah.
yeah.
Everybody's like threw me up there when I got the cruise.
Oh, yeah. I'm good for that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Everybody say hi.
Hi,
Jenny.
Okay, so next,
Hey, Jenny.
Booths. How many of you guys have ever, how many of you guys have done booth before? Yeah, quite a few of you. Okay, awesome. So Tennessee, where'd she go? Oh,
She's on the phone with
you gonna come up here with me, girlfriend?
I can.
Okay, so.
Wait, do I look like an elf? Because Santa Claus.
Mr. Claus, maybe get you an elf hat. Real. Okay, so first I want to talk about booth setup. So we're just gonna, everyone kind of has some questions on booths and some people have fear of doing booth. I know Holly was very scared to do one. Have you done your booth yet, Holly? I did one a long time ago. Oh, you did it? I thought you like in the very beginning, but no, I have not done the booth. I promised I would do. Okay.
Nobody said I was gonna do it soon.
Today's the day, Holly. So we're gonna go through some examples. So, so one thing that people get concerned about is booth setup. So if you see right here, I've seen like crazy elaborate booths. I've seen very simple booths. And what I want to tell you, because the first thing I did when I started booths was I went and found a very expensive booth to sign up for, and I bought a bunch of crap to put on my booth. And I really realized I didn't need to do that much. So if you notice up here, it looks okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. This is your kit right here, you guys. So the only thing, like the towel, this is the beach towel from the It Works store. It's 25 bucks. You don't have to have it if you didn't have a black tablecloth, but you really just need a drawing jar. And then these are the empty box from that wraps. That's the empty box your kit comes in. So there's no reason that you can't put together a very simple booth. It really doesn't matter, and maybe Tennessee can speak to this. It doesn't matter you don't want your booth to look like crap, but it's not about what the booth looks like, okay? It's about what you're doing at the booth. So Tennessee, can you give us some tips on things that you should be doing when you're at a booth?
You should definitely be representing It Works. You should be talking to people, not staying back there. Here's what I see sometimes. For say you're at a booth, I see a lot of this. Hi. There's a drawing. There's a drawing. Don't do that. Come on out here. Come up here to the people. When they come up and look at your stuff, hi, how are you? I'm Tennessee. I'm with It Works. Have you heard about us? Just be really, really friendly with them and talk to them and engage them. She's either gonna go, yeah, but I don't like it. And you're gonna just like, hey, have a great day. Would you like a coupon to take with you and give to your friends? You wanna just make sure you're trying to give those coupons to those people, even to those people that just absolutely don't want nothing to do with you. But here's the thing I say about that. I'll make you.
Hey, have you heard of this?
What is it?
Well, this is the crazy wrap. I can't do it without just doing it wrong. Do you want a coupon?
That doesn't look like it works for you. Why should I take that?
There you go. Well, this actually is not a weight loss product.
Wow.
This is a product that tightens, tones, and firms the skin.
Oh.
Do you have any areas that you would like to tighten, tone, and firm?
No, but I kind of got some cholesterol problems.
Well, we have a product for that. Hey, so are you on Facebook?
No, yes I am.
Oh, I love adding people to my world on Facebook. Can I find you?
Well, you're not going to spam me, are you?
No, I'm not creepy or anything. I'm not creepy.
I guess.
I'm sure that makes you creepy. I'm not creepy, I promise.
See how easy that was? She asked me, after coming in as a total witch, which I'm gonna do, I've had somebody actually say to my people on, at their booth, oh, that doesn't work for you, look how fat you are. This poor girl almost died. She signed a customer up right there in front of them, which I thought was awesome, so she took it and spinned it. But that's just something really important that I think you need to remember at the booth. You're gonna get a lot of that kind of stuff, so talk to people anyways, no matter how scary they look. Let them be intimidated by you being okay with that. Be natural and not scared of them. And if I didn't want that card, don't miss it. So hey, okay, whatever, next, see ya. But that's kind of how I feel about the booths. You just really need to be out there talking to everybody. Don't stand in front of your booth. That's something else that you want them to look. So you want to kind of just be where you're accessible. There's a lot of different places that you have to set up booths and so many different ways you can do it. And I was absolutely right. That's all you need to do. You can even, and something I did find out from corporate, and I just wanted to let you guys know, you could go and blow up your, if you can't afford a sign, okay, a lot of people can't when you start out, you can go blow up anything in the E-Suite up to 36 by 36. As long as it's in the E-Suite or a Blitz card. So you have advertisement. So don't make nothing of your own, but you can blow it up. So I got that approved, that's okay to do. Just don't go out there making your own stuff. But if you can't afford a towel, 99 cents at the dollar for a green tablecloth or a black one, whichever you want. So yeah. What are you doing? You know, I'll start talking about everything.
Because tablecloths in them themselves are expensive.
They very much, yeah.
I found a black flat sheet
That's what I
on
use.
clearance for $3.
Yeah, that's great. Jenny uses sheets too as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Getting creative is really good. And so one thing to know, I like what you're saying because that actually happened to Justine. There was a lady that, like, there are people that are awful. There are people that will be so horrible. And it was our first booth. And will you tell that story real quick, what the lady said?
So the booth we were doing, ironically enough, was at the Rock and Roll Marathon in Portland. And this lady walks up and she's like, looks like you should be running a marathon instead of standing here selling this crap or something like that. Or like really just like rude. And I was in the business maybe not even 30 days yet. I left crying and, you know, and my sister like came after me and she was like, she doesn't know your story, Justine. Like she doesn't know. And this was before you guys, this is when I just jumped in and started talking to people and stuff. I didn't even realize that the wraps weren't a weight loss product at this point. So it was really like devastating to me. I was ready to quit. I was ready to go home, and we've been there for what, like an hour? Yeah. And then, you know, there's ways around that. Like Miles even stepped up and was like, "Hey, like try some green samples," and he like totally like distracted like attention from her being really nasty to me.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say though. If a lot of people are gonna look at this and go, no, no. So for me, I like to have stuff at my booth. Greens, always have greens if they'll let you. Sometimes they won't. But have something. You need to have something you believe in extremely, even if it's one thing. And if it either find something besides the wrap, trust me, because not everybody. People get my age. I'm in a different age realm. I'm not into the wraps. They were great, cool, whatever. But I'm into fat fighters. I'm diabetic. And greens because I need them. And New You. But I have my favorite. I have my greens and my fat fighter. Can I choose? Probably not. But at a booth, I'm gonna push them greens like crazy. 70% of the people I sign up at booths are for greens because that's what I'm pushing. So find something, not just the wrap. And you want to use our flagship because there's a lot of people out there that like the wraps. But there are a lot of people that need something else, that need, not like, need something else. So keep that in mind when you're at a booth, that it's not just about that wrap. Because when you show her the card, you're going to say, and I also have a full line of health products right here, all natural health products. If you want to check out my website, that'll get them to take your card sometimes, most of the time. But if you're just like, here's a coupon, they're going to, I don't want that. No, I have a website right here, and I have a full line of health products. And if you don't have them here, they're not going to know unless you tell them. You don't have to have them here because you're starting, you don't have displays. And mind you, most of the leaders have sample bottles they'll give you, so ask them, or empty ones. So go ahead and ask or put it on the page. I have a gazillion. But you want to make sure they know you have more products than this little trick right here, you know. And again, that's your flagship. It works. But for me, I sign up probably 4 people on wraps. I have 100 customers at least on greens and fat fighters. They're my faves, you know.
So when someone approaches your booth, I've done many, and you start seeing that people will say the same things and have the same objections. So as you do them, you start to learn how to respond to different objections. And the same thing when you're out blitzing someone. And sometimes it does hurt, like it stings a little bit. I remember I was blitzing a lady at Panda Express one day, in fact, and the way that I approached her, I saw that she had a name tag on. I'm like, oh, so you probably work with a lot of really nice ladies, right? And like, you know, can I give you my card? And she immediately shot me down and was like, no, we can't do anything like that. And just the way, like her, you know, the way that she said it, I was like, it was immediately like, oh. And then I stopped for like 1 second. I thought, well, that didn't work. I need to try something else. You know, so like I realized I overcame it really quickly because I just realized, okay, that trick was not one that's going to work. So I have to do something else. And that's the same way at a booth. So a lot of times people will do booths and they think, well, okay, here, I'll tell you some lessons that you need to know. When I first started, we actually decided, I was like, we did a lot of races and I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna go do a rock and roll marathon like show where there's 10,000 people and we're gonna need a ton of wraps. We're gonna need like, you know, 500 wraps, right? Because in my mind, I was like, everyone is gonna walk up and buy these wraps. I literally had just started like, you know, 3 weeks before. I had not been in hardly at all. And so I went and bought a ton of wraps. It's amazing I'm still doing this business because we sold like not very many. We had no idea what we were doing. Booths are not about selling wraps. Okay, you might wrap a few girls in the bathroom and that's great, but booths are about getting leads. Okay, and if you're not, when you're at a booth and so you make a rapport with someone, pull them into your world. The only way that they're ever gonna make a purchase from you is if they see you showing products over and over again. So,
and that's the key right there. She just said it. Make a purchase from you. Ask them. When you got them in your little realm and you're talking to them about this product, I have an order form. Can I get your order in right now? Do not be afraid to ask at the booth. There's so many people that won't ask. They're like, well, call me or here's my website. No, heck no. My papers are almost in my hand when I'm doing a booth. They are right here and ready for somebody to sign up and get their product. Because again, they're not going to wrap. They're doing a rock and roll thing. I mean, we did the country music festival. I mean, we didn't hardly have any people wrap, but we had people sign up left and right, because I wanted to do it later, you know. So don't be afraid. Have them order forms at the booth. Ask anybody that is even slightly like interested. Just say, hey, well, I can get you an order in right now. Have it in the computer Monday and send off. Are you interested? You would be blown away how many people say yes.
well, and you don't want to, okay, go ahead. One thought is that if you're just saying, here's my website, you're putting the ball into their court now. And so you never say, don't even, whether someone has messaged you on Facebook, whether you're at a booth, you don't just say, here's my website. You want to place that order for them. You want to make sure, because anyone who has ever even, I had a lady that was, yes, I'm going to sign up, and here, yeah, give me your website. And she just didn't. She never did. And so then I had to keep asking her, and finally I was like, give me your information. And then I got the sale.
And that's the key, that when you're giving that card out and they're talking about ordering from you, get them on Facebook. If they don't have Facebook, just change numbers. That way you know you can get back with that person. Even if they don't want to order right now, you want some way, yeah, have them enter this. We do quality, not quantity. I'm sure Connie will talk about that. That's so important. But if they don't want to enter the drawing, and a lot of people don't, because they think you're going to get spammed. You know, they think you're going to call them like a solicitor all the time. Get their number. Just get their number. You're not going to get it all the time, but or you can trick them into filling one of those out. I've done that so that I could call and I'll write on there they do not want to be in the contest because they just don't want to be bothered. So.
How many of you have done a booth and know like there's very little traffic? Okay, so did you feel like that was a failure?
No.
No. Why not?
I talked to other vendors too. I got them excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of them.
Exactly. When you're at an event and there's 40 other booths there and there's no, like, it's a flop of an event, for some reason there's no traffic, but there's 40 other vendors, that's 40 leads for you. So you never want to have the attitude of like, yeah, this is a bust. No, if there's other people, there's opportunity, whether it's for them. Eventually, some of those other businesses might be looking to make a little extra money. And so they might join your team. They may end up seeing one of your products from a Facebook post. Excellent.
Did you have a question?
I was just gonna throw out there for order forms, they are in the suite too.
Yeah, everything
So-
was E-Suite.
Just
And let's see. When you're looking for a booth, now you have recently signed up for about several booths, right?
6 in the first 2 months of 2016 and the last 2 weeks.
Nice.
Booths are just, everybody makes it so complicated to find them. They're not complicated to find. You go on Chamber, any town, you don't have to be in that town. You go look and see what's coming to their town. Call them, say, hey, are you accepting booths there? I mean, you can do booths anywhere. You can do them in front of here if they'll let you. You just gotta ask. So 4 of mine actually came from booths from last year, because at events, I go around and I introduce myself. I have a vendor coupon for my vendors of an extra $5 off. It's really nothing, but it makes them feel important. And I go introduce myself, and almost every person I talk to that I don't already know on the circuit, because I'm out there enough, I ask them where they're going next. Where are you going next? Where were you last? Who are you going through? What company? Who do you get your boost through? Because those people, those are the ones that you want to ask. They're more important than don't get me wrong, I think joining a vendor websites and networking sites, those are key to your business. You all should be in at least 6, if not more. I'm in 27. So I'm active in like 6, but you want to be in those, because there are some that are going to tell you where the booths are. And with our business, key to booths. If you see it, you snag it fast. Don't wait, don't hesitate. Don't say, oh, I'll call them tomorrow. No, you message them, call them right now, because they're gonna be gone. We're getting competitive in our company with, getting those booths. So 4 of those booths were from vendor related, following them around. And 2, I got friendly with the people that actually organized them, and now they're calling me. I have a new booth coming in January. Do you want it? Well, yeah. I do them so much now that they're saying, okay, I'll just write you down, you can pay me here in a couple weeks when you're ready. So because most of the time you gotta slam down the down payment, but if you're doing them enough, you're staying at the whole booth, you're representing your company and yourself appropriately there by not being dirty, and I mean dirty mouth, and I am the dirtiest fucking mouth person, Pardon my French, but we don't do that in a booth. I'm just saying. There are places you don't, I'm real, but if you're in a booth, you're not gonna sit there. You're gonna appropriate yourself. I'm gonna do it to you guys because I love you. But so if you're there representing yourself and you're not leaving early and you're not coming late and you're doing all the right stuff, the person that's running that is going to see that, and that's who they want at their events. So they're calling me because that's what I do. I'm appropriate. I'm actually kind of.
Can I get that on video?
Probably.
You're also looking for very low cost booths. So make sure that the booth that Justine and I did, it was $2,000. There was no way. I know. And then we're like, let's do it twice. Yeah, I did that so I could teach all of you not to do the same thing.
Well, now here's the thing with that though, see, because I do high cost booths, like bridal shows, $500. If you're gonna do that, and I think bridal shows are great, I make killings of both my bridal shows I've done too, and the music fest, get a group with you. Don't go by yourself. Don't put all that on you. I'm gonna pay for this whole thing. Man, I don't kick butt. You break that down to how many people you reasonably talk to a sponsor or an upline. Say, this is what I'm going to. This is how many people they think are gonna be here, because they got an idea. Unless it's their first one, but they're still gonna do a statistic on something, and ask what kind of foot traffic. That way you can say, how many people can I get away with having here? How many do I need, or how many should I have? So I generally, at a booth, I like at least 2 people there all the time. I don't care if it's just a craft show, for 2 reasons. One, the second that you walk away, no matter how dead it is, somebody's coming, okay? You gotta go to the bathroom, somebody's coming. Second, it's boring by yourself. And 2, it's still cheaper, split that thing. So when you have the bigger ones, generally 4 in a booth, but break it up, just break up the hours. Because those things are expensive, but they do pay off some of them. Not all of them. Some of them suck. But if you broke up your payment with other people, then it ain't gonna hurt as bad. So just keep that in mind.
And the last thing on booths is the follow-up. So you go, you spend the time, you do the booth, But if you do not take those leads out of there, or, you know, what I'll do is if I get someone on my Facebook, I'll take a snapshot of their picture after they've walked away, so that later I'll know to go back and interact with that person or say, it was so nice to meet you, just to start that, building that relationship. That has been super helpful. But if you just let those leads lie, if you don't do anything with them, then you just wasted your money and your time. Because people, it takes about 7 times for people to see something to decide that they're gonna buy it. So especially if you pull them into your Facebook, that is a much better way. And I say that for blitzing too, or anywhere that you are. If you are pulling people constantly into your world, that's how you're gonna start building up your business.
Yeah, because given all those blitz cards, see that contests we're doing and all that, if you're just doing that and you're not getting them on Facebook or getting some information, you're throwing stuff away. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I try to get everybody on there. And those lead slips, keep in mind, when this right here for me, and this is honestly, this is $1,000 to me. I think about this every time I say, here, go ahead and fill this out, okay? Because what's gonna happen is I got them, and I'm gonna turn over and write 3 things about that person that I remember. First, this lady has a clown suit on. I'm gonna write, she had a clown suit on. And then she's gonna talk a little bit about her life. Well, she has 2 kids, confianza. You know, just a couple, 3 things minimum that you're gonna remember about that person. So when you call them, what do people like the most?
When you remember them.
Yes. So you want to make sure that you're writing on the back. After they walk away, it looks weird when you're writing about them when they're looking at you. But make sure you write on those so you know what to say to these people when they're walking away, because they love to be known, let me tell you.
Can I add something?
Yes.
If you collect people's information, freaking call them, because you are wasting your damn time standing in that booth if you don't call them.
Within 24 hours.
Yes.
Yep.
They're for reals, I'm not kidding.
And
it's true.
And something you can do when you're calling them, this is the last thing we'll say on it so we can move on, but is, you know, we call it the hustle to do a 3-month trial with our LC program. We say, hey, you know, do you want to try the hair, skin, and nails? You can get it at my cost for 3 months if you do my 3-month trial. You can do that same thing over the phone. Okay, you basically can hustle them right over the phone. If you give too much information, then they're gonna just shut you down. Like if you're like, and then you'll get a perk point for every dollar you spend, and then at 6 months you get 50 perk points in it. Like they don't need to know all of that. They just need to know that they're getting your cost for a 3-month trial, and you can sign people right over the phone doing that, or over instant messenger or text.
Like it's something kind of like that too. Like you don't have to give something away every time you call. Like make our loyal customer program seem like something that they like are winning. Like, you know, like I'm only taking 5 of these loyal customer trials. Like, do you want a spot? Like they're gonna go fast. If you entice them by like, you know, creating an incentive, they feel like they're winning something.
They get excited.
You don't have to give away product every time you know, you don't have to give it away every time.
Yeah. Let me say one thing real quick. When it comes to those leads though, don't throw those leads away. If you had a bad, first off, this year has been one of the slowest boost years I've ever had. I've been doing boost for 15 years prior business before. So this year, just out of the booth, it's been kind of just really slow. But don't throw your leads away, because you could do a monthly drawing. You could call someone back on the leads. If you got a star on their checks, I do a check system, like if I should call them back. You can call them. Hey, I just did a monthly drawing. I know I talked to you last year at such and such, but I just did a monthly drawing, and hey, you won a chin wrap party for you and 5 of your friends. Wow, would you like to book that right now? Don't throw those leads away. Go back on them. I mean, maybe not 10 years, but honestly, the ones that look good, you wrote on, especially the ones you wrote on, you knew you made a relationship. Keep that relationship, and you can spark that relationship in a year. You never know.
Okay, so can I just sound creepy for a minute?
Yeah.
Because we know I'm the Facebook sucker. If you have a lead in your hand and there's a phone number on there, you can find them on Facebook. Like 70% of the time, their phone number will come. You can add them. Some people will not like accept your friend request, but I would say 75% probably will accept your friend request. And then if you found them on Facebook, you have their undivided attention.
I do that all the time. Yeah. And some won't either. They be like, because they think you're spamming, but I do it anyways.
Okay, so I have 3 drawing pad entries to give away. So if you have a booth coming up and you're planning to do a booth, stand up, and you don't have one of these already, stand up Let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3.
Yay! I love booths. I'm sorry. I just love them.
I'll give one.
Yay!
There you go.
So wait, where did you find your booth?
Oh,
Where did you find yours?
we're working on getting Brian show in February.
Okay. Where'd you find
I'm
yours?
excited.
Great
So
job.
I have the Mac on my car, and this lady, I was sitting at the gas station, and this lady was staring at me, and she's like, and that was kind of that awkward, like, I'm on my phone, like, okay, what's gonna happen? She walks to the door, comes back, knocks on my window, and she goes, so that whole thing, Rick, and she kind of, that crazy rat thing, and I'm like, oh, yeah, here you go. It's like, nice to keep her. And she actually gave me her card, and she was under, her.
See how that works? It just happened magnets
Right
on.
place, right time.
Thank you for having that kind of.
Okay, how's another way we can get leads
Talk
other than booths?
talk to
Facebook.
just in passing.
Likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
Your card magnets.
Those are all really good answers.
Live your
I'm
business.
thinking about something very specific. Sorry?
Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so let's say you don't go do a booth.
Branding.
Okay, I'm just gonna say a leads box. It doesn't cost you any money, and yet you can go drop it off at any salon, any gym, any doctor's office, and the leads come into your box. Do you guys know about leads boxes? No, everybody knows. Okay. Is it Pinterest has a whole bunch of it works lead boxes, like examples and stuff? I've seen some really amazing ones, but those slips that Kylie just gave away, you just go put a leads box and you can order them online. Go to Google, you can put a leads box. They're generic. You can dress them up. They've got all kinds of examples on Instagram and Pinterest.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
Wow, Sarah! Oh boy.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Santa!
Everybody! How is everybody doing? It's so good to see you. This beautiful rainy day. Where's the snow in Idaho?
It's on the other side of the state.
2 hours away.
What are we doing today? Would you guys like some candy canes? Have they been some good boys and girls?
Yes.
I don't know. We all look suspicious this morning. Merry Christmas. Oh, we're dropping candy canes. Merry Christmas.
Especially you.
Yes.
Do we all need a picture or do we?
I think I need this crazy wrap thing that we were speaking of. What is this thing?
Thank you.
Well, it ought to help you fit down a few chimneys. You know?
Oh, there's no chimneys today. They have those gas things. Have to fit through teeny holes. Silly. Don't know what they were thinking. Do we all want to get the picture? Let's all come up on the stage.
Yeah.
Let's get a picture
Come
with
on, everyone.
Santa.
Go. Bring your candy cane.
There you go. They're falling out of my pocket. This isn't going to help the wrap thing. It's going to gain some weight.
Can we get in the picture?
Absolutely, everybody can get in the picture.
Yay!
Where would we like to stand?
I want to stand with you.
All right. She gets
I'll take the photo. How's that?
How about we
Get
stand?
in the picture with Santa.
Let's see. Yes, you guys come right here,
Yay!
right in front of me, because kids are the best.
You like it? I got
Kids
are the best. Mommy, Santa agrees. Kids are the best.
They are.
You're not. I am. Nicole, we need to go in the picture, you guys.
They say, "Hey, the elves."
Yes.
Okay, you're taking way too long. What is up with these delayed
Oh, I
phone
took like
pictures?
4 or 5.
We have some gifts here. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you help me draw some winners? for you?
Wonderful, yes, I can do that. I love giving gifts. All right.
What do you do for a living?
Well, for 1800 years, I've been giving away presents. So,
The first page.
the first name is Liza Humza.
What?
Okay, I don't know in your language.
Alicia.
Alicia Holman, I know who she is.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia Holman.
Must be present to win.
Okay, I'll say, I was out at her house.
Okay. I got my beard sketching pot. Same thing has a mind of its own. Okay.
Ooh, that's me. Is that me?
Super.
Oh, right now?
Yes, what is it?
Sorry. Oh, this is from my book. It says I'm a badass.
Yes!
Yeah.
I always knew you were. So you were
How to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. Love it.
Okay.
All right, next one. Let's do JC.
Woo!
Yeah.
They're little pop-up thank you cards.
Very cool.
Kathy Cornelius.
Woo! Is she here? Yay! She's not here.
You snooze, you lose. Alicia.
Is there an Alicia here?
Let's read somebody.
Nope,
Oh,
not here.
Maybe we should have
Snooze, you lose.
Snooze,
That's
you
right.
lose.
That's what Sam said.
That's all right. He's the boss. Huh?
Sam Martinell, right?
Anybody here?
Is there Sam here?
I think that's Aspen's.
You're not Sam. I know you're not Sam.
Oh, Sam was Megan's friend.
Matt Evans.
Yay! Open it and see what you got.
None of it's candy, you gotta give it to me.
You're gonna have to fight with that. Peppermints.
There you go. Those are an explosion in your mouth, so they're perfect for wrapping people. That's what he said.
And a Starbucks card. Let's go.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No.
Tennessee.
Oh, no.
Open it.
Should I get corrected?
Oh, yeah, that's
It's not your girlfriend. Thank you.
You want a red one?
Do we have another one, Kylie?
She hasn't had the baby yet. Or pink? Right, 3 months.
How much is the fast start bonus?
$99.
she said that.
Did you have you won yet? Did I give you a little?
Yeah,
something?
no, I'm not getting.
Who said 99? Had you won yet? So fast start bonus is $99. You guys understand fast start? Okay. And we're out. No more.
Oh,
No more stuff.
oh,
Wait, Santa, where's your gift?
I should have brought my gift.
No,
I
that's
am so
crap.
sorry.
No, I already got space
My
for
gift.
Santa.
There's joy to the world, right?
Okay.
That's a little more.
And have it.
It was okay.
Oh, I don't know. I read a lot sometimes. I
I was gonna say,
have
I
no
have the
idea what I'm
photo proof.
saying.
This is really cool for Santa to come to me. I'll give him a round of applause. You knew where to find all these people.
Yes, they were all gathered in one place.
Thank you for coming, Santa.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Did I?
Thank you. I was just gonna say, do you have a message you want to share really quick?
I said you should Merry Christmas! You guys have a wonderful day. Next week, remember.
Looks like we're running short on time, so I'm gonna bring Paige up here and she's gonna introduce our speaker of the month.
Okay, so I'm probably more excited for this than she is, but that's okay. Brittany Peterson is our speaker of the month this month, and she is amazing, selfless, and becoming such a great leader. She used to walk into So she has been working her butt off in her business since day one, and she used to walk into places being completely intimidated and closed off from everyone and kind of put in the corner. But she has pushed herself out of her comfort zone and has grown into the most amazing leader. And I'm so excited to share her with you today. So Brittany Peterson.
Do I need to use this? Please.
It's for them.
Please and thank you.
Okay, so bear with me, guys. I'm not a public speaker.
Yes, you are.
You are now. I am now, right? So it's crazy for me to be up here talking. 5 months ago, I've been in business about 7 months. And 5 months ago, I was at my first training at Jenny's house, and I was sitting outside her house in my car for 15 minutes trying to convince myself to come in. I was having an anxiety attack, and I was scared to death. I was not a social person, and so I was just scared to death to do it. And so today I'm just gonna kind of share with you guys my story, where I came from, and where I'm heading. So first I wanted to read this quote. Take a chance. Life is too short to wake up with regrets. Love the people who treat you right, and forget about the ones who don't. Believe that things happen for a reason. If you get a second chance, grab it with both hands. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said life would be easy. They just promised that it would be worth it. So I'm hoping that just kind of showing my story, you guys are going to be able to relate to me and kind of think about what's been holding you guys back. And I'm sorry, I have to have notes to say on track. So in high school, I used to be a really social person. I was never home. I was always gone. I had a big group of friends, and I was just constantly going. At 19, I got pregnant with my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and everything changed within a week. My life dramatically changed. I never wanted kids. It wasn't part of the plan. So when I ended up pregnant, my husband immediately went out and he started his career. He joined the union, and we just changed everything to get ready for this baby. 10 weeks into my pregnancy, I had a miscarriage, and we were devastated. Even though we weren't really planning on having kids, we got used to the idea, and it just broke our heart. So we decided to, I don't know why, but we thought it would be a good idea to try. So I tried again, and I got pregnant again 2 months later, and at 9 weeks had a second miscarriage. So that just kind of shattered us. We realized that was probably God telling us that it's not our time. We needed to stop. I was 19, I wasn't ready. And then 6 months later, when I turned 20, I ended up pregnant again. So that baby will be 7 years old in a month and a half. But I had very complicated pregnancies. So I ended up having to immediately quit my job when I got pregnant for the third time. And I was on bed rest without being on bed rest. I became very secluded from my friends. I stopped going out and doing things with them. I really couldn't get off the couch. I was afraid to even breathe that I was going to lose this baby again. And so I lost my spot. So I became really secluded, and I thought that once my son was born, it would get better, and that I would be able to just take him with me and get back in touch with my friends again. And it just got worse when he was born. He was an extremely fussy baby. I couldn't go to restaurants. I tried so many times to hang out with my friends again and just reconnect with everybody, and he would just be crying the entire time. And so I ended up leaving and stopped trying. Now, this lasted about 2 years, and as he became a toddler, it just got even more worse. My son is autistic, so when I tried to take him out to restaurants as a toddler, the lights would give him meltdowns, crowds would give him meltdowns, people coming up trying to talk to him would give him meltdowns, and I ended up leaving constantly, trying to, I just would leave with him screaming bloody murder. So I just stopped trying to go anywhere. All my friends kind of backed off, and I just sat home by myself with this baby. And I got pregnant again with another baby that will be 5 in a couple months. And the same thing, very difficult pregnancy. So I had a very complicated toddler, very difficult pregnancy while I was on bed rest, and my husband was gone from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. He got a job in LA. It was about 3 hours from where we lived at the time. And I became very, very lonely and secluded. He would leave at 4 in the morning, go drive 3 hours to work, leave, or work the entire day, and then go to school and drive 3 hours home. He would eat dinner and then go right to bed. So it led into a depression. I became very depressed. It was just such a different universe. I lost all my friends, and so I had about 4 years of just really rough depression. And then we decided that we don't want to live that way anymore. So we moved to Idaho very randomly, like almost picked it out of a hat. Somebody said, you should move to Boise. And we said, okay, let's move to Boise. So we moved to Boise. We paid off our credit cards, and we were doing good financially at this point. And when we came out to Boise, we found out that my husband's transfer didn't go through. So we ended up in an apartment that we just signed a year lease on with no jobs, no income whatsoever. So we started racking up credit card debt, just trying to get groceries, trying to get by, kind of the usual. At this point, my health started to take a really bad turn. My son was in and out of the doctors, in and out of specialists, speech therapists, Asperger's, just, behavioral therapy constantly, so we were racking up medical bills. I came down with endometriosis and fibromyalgia, and I just became extremely sick. Between the depression and the stress of everything, it just magnified the whole situation, and I succumbed to it. I laid on my bed and I laid on my couch and I didn't move. My kids would ask me every day, like, hey mommy, can you play with me today? And every single day I would say, not today. And I would be laying on the couch, and my husband would come home from work and he would take them, I'm gonna get emotional. He would take them out and I would stay home in bed. I was missing everything. I was just so sick. And a friend had approached me about the greens, a different person. And I said, not right now. It sounds amazing. There's no way. We're living negative to negative. There was absolutely no way. And one day, this is when I had my breakthrough. I was laying in my bed, and my oldest son, he came into the room and he had toys in his hands. And he said, Mommy, can you play with me? And as always, I said, not today, honey. I had a really bad migraine. I was cramping really bad from the endometriosis. And he, because of the autism, he struggles with friends. He has a very hard time connecting with people. And he was getting to the age where all he wanted was friends. He tried so hard and he just was never able to connect. And so I was all he had to play with. And he said, okay, mommy, and he left the room, and I just laid in bed and started bawling my eyes out, like hysterically, and it was my breaking moment that this can't keep going on. My husband would come home from work, I didn't want to look at him, it was just awful. And so I called my friend about the greens, and I said, okay, send me 3 samples of the greens, I need to see what they can do. So she sent me the greens, and after 3 days of them, a huge difference. So I decided to join, and I think as fate would have it, the same exact day, Kylie posted something, I think, about the labs. And I don't know why, but for some reason I messaged Kylie and I said, do you have room on your team? And I didn't know anybody on this team. I didn't know Kylie, I've never met her. We just went to the same church together. And I, for some reason, was just pulled, and I decided to join a local team with people I didn't even know. And I think that was the very first time I really truly started to step out and say, enough is enough. I took money from a surgery I was supposed to have the following week, and I bought my kit, and then I was able to pre-sell the labs, and I joined Kylie's team. And I wasn't planning on doing anything with it except just to make enough money to buy the greens. I had no intentions of coming to trainings or, becoming a diamond hopefully one day and all that stuff. I just wanted $35 a month so that I can buy the greens so that I can play with my kids. And through that, I started watching Paige and Holly on Facebook. And I started seeing what they were doing with this business online. And I decided, this could be the answers to my prayers. This could be what I've been looking for. It can help my health. It can help me make friends again. That was a huge part of my life that was missing that I didn't even realize was missing. And it can help us with this financial issues that we're in, And so I decided through watching them online that this is something I was going to kind of go for. And I decided to start showing up to trainings, and that brought me to Jenny's house, sitting outside, hyperventilating in my car by myself because I became so antisocial. And talking to people was just having a simple conversation. But I kept forcing myself to go. I kept pushing myself. I started showing up. I went to the horse races, and I sat there oh my God, there's all these people sitting next to me. I didn't know anybody. I was just really scared. And but I knew that something had to change, and so I started changing. One of the hardest things to change was posting positive things. And I just did. I started posting very reluctantly. And weird thing is I started to feel pretty positive after a week. It's kind of crazy, huh? So I've changed a lot. I was perfectly fine doing everything behind the scenes and just kind of staying on my computer and staying away from people, but I wasn't growing that way. So now I'm constantly challenging myself every single day by blitzing, doing team phone calls, standing up here speaking in front of everybody, just really forcing myself every single day to step out of my comfort zone. And the support from this team has just made all that so much possible. I gained confidence in myself, and I started believing in myself just by pushing myself to step out, just making myself really uncomfortable. And I've made really amazing friendships that were missing, and that's been a huge point in who I'm becoming, is being just surrounded by people that believe in me, that force me to believe in myself. My health is so much better because I stopped making excuses, and I found a way to get the greens, which are now budgeted into my grocery bill that I couldn't afford. And I started working out. I've been just pushing myself to get myself healthier, and I play with my kids now. My kids don't ask me every day if I'm sick. They ask me every once in a while because I still am struggling with some health issues, but it's made a huge difference. My family is completely shocked at the changes. They thought I was crazy when I told them that I was joining It Works, and now every single one of them is a loyal customer. So
I loved your dad's text.
Yeah.
So cute.
things like that, like my dad's text, that they constantly, just the other day, my mom was like, I cannot even believe what, this is doing. But, so yeah, I mean, I still struggle. I still get anxiety, like I'm extremely nervous up here talking, but I'm up here doing it. And each time I push myself, it gets easier and easier. And every day I try to push myself out of my comfort zone. It sounds kind of cliche, but it's really when things start changing. Because of that, I believe in myself. I'm not the cranky person that I used to be. I'm not depressed. I wake up and I'm happy and I'm ready. I have goals for myself that I've never had before. I have goals for my business now. And things that I never even thought about twice are a really close reality for me now. And so just pushing myself has changed everything. I really encourage everyone to just think about what your comfort zone is and what makes you uncomfortable or scared. And even if it's just a little bit, just step out and reach out to your leaders, reach out to your team, because they will help you get through it. And that's when things will start changing. So if you guys were in a call like I was, having anxiety about going in and talking to people, just get out of the call and go in. Step out, and life really does happen when you step out of your comfort zone. And even the smallest step can make the biggest difference.
Wow, that was inspiring. Kate, for time's sake, I'm just going to introduce Justine. She's going to come give us a pep talk about getting our juju back. And yeah, she's going to. Huh? Is that what you're talking about? She doesn't know yet, but she's going to give us a pep talk.
Please not do what you do. Like, nobody gave me a topic, so I'm doing what I do. Oh, you can't have it. You don't want, I guess not. Okay. Try. Does everyone know who Girl Eyes is? Anybody know?
Girl Eyes.
Girl Eyes, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody stand up. Stand up. Okay, this is my best Girl Eyes voice, so don't judge me, but come with me, okay? You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. And then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, 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 Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him, as they shouted out with glee, yippee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Okay, yay. Was that fun? There's a point in this. You guys can sit down. So, Rudolph was a little bit different, huh? Right? Yep. Anybody with me on this? You know what's really funny? When we had the meeting about today, I was told, I asked at the meeting, I said, well, what's my topic? Like, what am I talking about? And Carly says, just do what you do. I was like, okay, like, that's weird. She didn't give me any boundaries or directions. Like, so, of course, me then starting to overthink it last night was like, I don't even know what I'm going to talk on. I don't know what I'm going to talk on, right? So then this morning, still not knowing what I was going to talk about, I was standing in my dining room, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer came on the radio, and I was like, God, I hate Christmas music. Is it over yet? And I'm like looking around, and I don't know how many of you saw my Facebook post last night, but I got a bunch of flowers. very pretty flowers, and they were from my ex-husband. Okay, really weird, right? So I was listening to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I'm staring at these flowers, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Because what happened last night is my ex-husband went out of his comfort zone and gave me flowers, and that could have turned out really bad, right? Could have been awkward. I could have, made it really bad, but I want to share something with you guys. Because the conversation after he left, he just dropped them off. So the conversation after he left went like this. He said, I'm not assuming anything. That was like the first text that he sent me after he left, okay? And I responded and I said, that was possibly the nicest thing you've ever done for me. Thank you. He said, you're more than welcome. I'm just glad you didn't throw them at me. And my response was, why would I do that? And he said, because I was an ass to you most of the time. I said, well, that was in the past. I'm thankful that we were able to co-parent from 2 different households and raise our son together despite our differences. Thank you, Kevin, seriously. Okay, you guys, perspective is so important, right? Think about Rudolph and Santa. Rudolph could have went and hid in the corner. Santa could have been so focused on the fog that he wouldn't have seen that Rudolph's nose was the guiding light, right? Rudolph could have been hiding or put snow on his nose or whatever so that nobody could notice that. If you think about things in your world, how a little tiny bit of perspective can change so much about the meaning of everything. I think that last night was a really big night for me in the perspective aspect. I went and had a beer with a couple of my friends, okay? One of my friends brought a friend, and he was an asshole. Like, not even kidding you. He was so mean, and every time I would say something, he was like, just snarky, like smart remarks, like super, and I was like, dude, what is your problem, right? So I could have done 2 things. I could have been like, that guy is a jerk, and I could have been a jerk right back to him. But last night, for the first time, I made a different choice. I said, dude, what's going on with you? Like, why do I make you feel so vulnerable that you have to feel like you have to be mean to me? What's the insecurity coming from? Where's the anger coming from? And he like broke down and started crying right in front of me. And he was like, I'm living in a state that I hate for, 200 and whatever the math is, days a year. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, because 90 of those days I get to see my child. And I was like, oh, okay, so he's got a little bit of women issues, like a little bit bitter, right? He went on to say, my son was 3 years old before I got to tuck him into bed for the first time and tell him goodnight. And at that moment, like my heart just broke. You guys, I could have been a total jerk and taken his mean words and just like rolled with it. Trust me, like I can be pretty snatchy when I'm upset. Like especially if I get defensive, like I can fire right back. But I took 5 minutes to find out what was going on with him and what was making him vulnerable and what was making him feel like he needed to be defensive around me. I want you to think about that, not only in your business, in your personal life, if you have weight problems. I know that a lot of you have seen some pictures going around about me on Facebook. It's true, but aside from that, you guys, when I very first started losing weight, I was not focused on having to lose 60 or 80 pounds. I just was focused on making small changes, like I knew that I wanted to lose weight, but I didn't focus on that big giant number. It wasn't honestly until a year later that I went back and looked at a picture from, Facebook popped up and said, your memories from 1 year ago, and I was like, holy jeez, I was that big. Like, I didn't even notice how much of everything in my life had changed, but my perspective wasn't so buried in the fog that I couldn't see Rudolph's nose. Do you see that? You if you are so stuck and you're like, I can't enroll a loyal customer, or I can't, nobody's liking my posts, or I can't, nobody will join my team. Is your head buried in the fog? Are you notice what's going on around you? There could be a new distributor sitting in your lap and you guys are too busy being focused on not being able to enroll one that you don't see it. Does that make sense? Perspective is so important. Okay, so along with that, I believe that there are 3 characters that we can play in life, right? All of the children laughing, right? Santa, or Rudolph, okay? So out of those 3 people, if you want to be all the children laughing, raise your hand. Nobody wants to be the children laughing? Ashton. If you want to be Rudolph, raise your hand.
I want to be hungry. We are
You are what you speak about. You Rudolph? Okay. Who wants to be Santa?
Only if I don't gotta wear a costume.
Right?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm going to choose to be Santa in my business, and I'll tell you why. Santa was never focused on being angry about how foggy it was. Santa was never complaining about the fog. When Santa noticed all of the fog, what did he do? He started looking for the solution. You guys, the longer you focus on the problem, the longer you focus on what's going wrong, the longer it's going to take you to find the solution. Yes, it is important to see that it's foggy outside. Yes, it is important to see that all of the children are laughing. Like Santa could have gone along with the gang and laughed at Rudolph too, couldn't he have? But he chose to make a stand and stand up for what he believed in, which, you guys, this world is so buried in the fog, it is ridiculous. It is so buried in the fog that some random guy that's a mutual friend, that we have mutual friends, automatically thought that I was mean and harsh and I was going to hurt him, and so he threw his walls up and started lashing out at me, and all I said was hi. Right? This world is so dark and foggy. If you choose to see bright lights, you will find distributors. Because every distributor that I've enrolled has been a Rudolph. A little bit different, but they have a light that shines so bright, right? So think about that. Be Santa and have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, I love that. That was a great segue into, I want to talk about giving back really quick. And I'll make it fast because I know we're short on time.
And then Jenny.
Oh, should we turn it over to Jenny first?
Well, let's go.
Okay. I like how she talked about perspective, and I want to talk about a ripple effect, how we all kind of have that light in a foggy world. I might get emotional, but what is really cool about It Works is the fact that Mark Pentecost, our CEO, is so big on giving back. Every single one of us has the potential to change the world, and especially if you're an It Works distributor, and here's why. You can get to that diamond level, that says a lot about you. It says that you believe in other people. It says that you believe in the good in people. It says that you believe that people can be whatever they want to be. They can conquer their mountains. So with that being said, we have a responsibility, I think, as people in general, but also as leaders, to look for opportunities. And it doesn't mean go out and start a nonprofit. I mean, not everybody can, and it's, whatever. But sometimes just paying it forward, sharing a smile, supporting other communities, other nonprofits. You guys may or may not be aware, Kylie's just started her very own nonprofit. But even with that being said, there are charities all around Boise that need our services, that need our help, that need our volunteer. I just read on Facebook the other day that homeless shelters are in need of socks. They get donated so many things, but socks are those one things that people don't think about until you're standing in -2-degree weather and you're homeless and you don't have a place to live or stay or a warm fire that you can sit next to, socks are become vitally important. That being said, I want you guys to understand that when you come to these trainings, which are very important, because you're investing in yourself, and holy crap, Kylie's got like these caliber of speakers that seriously, most people pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for the caliber of people that Kylie's finding. I promise you, I know Shelley G personally, I know Frank White personally, I know Megan Bryant personally. These are people that literally can cost hundreds to thousands of dollars to come participate in these trainings. So if you're not spending $5, $10, $20 to get to these trainings and invest in yourselves and your businesses, know that that money not only is an investment in yourself, but that money is going back to making a difference in our community, whether it be through nonprofits or maybe a charity that we are personally investing in as it works. So with that being said, I want to get on my high horse, but that's what I love about this business. I don't know too many companies that really pride themselves on we can make a difference individually, collectively, as a whole, an entire corporation. But I feel like it's our personal responsibility to do so, and it makes us feel good. And it's that ripple effect. Have you heard the story that Zig Ziglar tells about kicking the dog? He goes and the guy's secretary, I don't know, I'm not gonna tell the story. Anyways, the point of the story, it's a long story, and it sounds like a big long joke, but at the end of the story is the dude fires off at his secretary at the beginning of the day, and by the end of the day, she goes home and kicks the cat. He said the CEO of the company should just went over that person's house and hit the cat, because it causes ripple effect that cause the cat to get kicked. The point of the story is you have that same power in a smile and a hug and a kind gesture and paying it forward. We have that same ripple effect, and it's the same with giving back to community. So I hope you guys know that you have the power to change the world in the small, simple things that we do every single day. And also just know, again, that when you come to these trainings, it's not just investment in yourself, it's so that we can all give back collectively to our community. So with that being said, are we ready for Ginny?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna turn it over to Miss Ginny Wolf.
Can you hear us okay? Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, you're on.
Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas. We're sorry to be here this weekend, but we are all, hi. We are all so proud of you guys for taking this time out this close to Christmas and being where you guys need to be to absolutely grow your business. So we just wanted to stop by and say Merry Christmas since we couldn't be there. So at one point today, I had all of my beautiful nephews and nieces ready to sing songs for you guys, but they've all dispersed. They're out in the snow and everything else. Oh. Okay. Well, hurry fast, sing your song. Ready? You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. 'Cause Santa Claus is coming to town. Yay! Anyways, you guys, Merry Christmas. And you guys, let's take this new year to a whole nother level, because things are about to get crazy for everybody. So, Merry Christmas, and we love you guys.
Merry Christmas.
My dad. Merry Christmas, guys.
Okay, we are going to raffle off the wraps. So if you put a wrap in, you do have to be present to win, correct? Yep. Okay. Not sure how to do this. Do you have that?
I
Put it in.
1 minute.
Should we draw 2 names and then just put it? Okay. Okay. So the first winner, we're gonna draw 2 winners. Alyssa. Woo! I'm not looking. I feel like this is it. Kylie.
Yes! Always win.
And then
You're
Kylie's
just
gonna
bitter.
close it up and then we'll disperse. Okay, yeah, please don't leave. This will take just a minute. So I want everyone to get comfy, and I promise this will not take long, okay? Everyone just get really comfy in your seat, and I want you to close your eyes. Go ahead. You too. Everyone have their eyes closed. Okay, I want you to take a deep breath through your abdomen. Hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly. As you breathe, notice your stomach rising and your lungs filling with air. Breathe in and out. As you exhale, imagine the tension in your body being released and flowing away. Inhale and exhale. Feel your body already relaxing. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to know that the details that don't work for you, you can change them in an instant in your mind so that they fit you. I want you to imagine yourself walking towards a quiet, inviting beach. You've never been here before. It is beautiful. You notice the white sand stretching along the shoreline as far as you can see. You begin to feel the warmth of the sun across your face. You stand there a moment and just take in the warmth. You feel it flowing all through your body. Can you feel that warm sun? You breathe in and out. As you walk in the sand, you feel its warmth on your feet, while at the same time feeling the coolness of the ocean breeze on your skin. Standing out by the ocean, I want you to picture the person or people that are in your life right now that you love the most. The waves are washing up onto the sand and receding back towards the ocean behind them. Can you see them? And as the waves are coming in, your loved one has a big smile on their face. A big wave comes in and they run away from it to avoid getting wet. They begin racing the waves as they flow in and out. They are laughing and smiling, and you can see the joy on their face. It gives you a warm feeling of happiness, and you feel as light as air. It's a dream come true. A dream you used to think wasn't possible, but you are here. And you breathe in and out. You notice the feeling of warm sand squishing under your feet. You bend over and reach down. You grab a handful of warm sand and hold it in the palm of your hand. You look at each little grain of sand and you realize that each tiny one is someone that you've helped so far on your journey to get to this beach. Every person you smiled at, every person that you've told you are important, every teammate that you said, I believe in you, all of the people you've wrapped, all of the teammates you've encouraged to chase their dreams. There's that woman that you held the door for, and the friend that as you were wrapping her, you told her she was beautiful. Each person that you've helped had a part in getting you to this beach. As you look at each grain, you remember you only added one grain at a time to get to your dream. These grains of sand in your hand are responsible for bringing you to this beach. They are what helped your dream come true. Now look along the beach to your left, and then look to your right. There is sand for miles and miles. Imagine if you help some of those other people. Imagine what dreams you can achieve if you help even a handful of people. You can live the life of your dreams if you help enough people. You
can live the life of your dreams if you help enough people. Are you ready? Are you ready to help others? Are you ready to live the life of your dreams? Are you? If you are, open your eyes. Is anyone ready to live the life of their dreams? Yeah? Okay, stand up. You decided it. You decided you're going to live the life of your dreams. There's one more thing that we need to do. We need to celebrate. Okay? So Megan said that we need to say yes and, right? So I'm going to suggest that we say yes. Okay? We're going to clap and we're going to say yes. Okay? Yes. 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 We're going to keep going, and as soon as we get so fast that we can't go anymore, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate so loud, we're going to scream so loud, and we're going to live by our dreams. No, that's not enough. You're going to celebrate so loud, and that signifies that you're going to live your dreams. So you have to celebrate all out, okay? All out, all out, okay? We're going to try it one more time. Okay, are you ready? Victoria's ready.